Wondery Plus subscribers can listen to Crime and Sports early and ad-free right now. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.
Your weekly dose of romance and drama has arrived. Season 29 of The Bachelor is here, and Grant Ellis, certified hottie and former day trader, is trading his day job on Wall Street for a second chance at everlasting love. New episodes drop every Monday at 8/7 Central, bringing you fresh twists in Grant's journey to find his soulmate. This self-proclaimed mama's boy is all grown up and ready to invest his heart. Will his playful charm win over the house full of hopefuls, or will the competition prove too intense? From heartfelt moments to adrenaline-pumping dates, each week brings new surprises in the mansion. Will Grant find his perfect match or end up with a broken heart? Tune in every Monday at 8/7 Central on ABC and stream on Hulu for new episodes of The Bachelor.
In the depths of an Atlanta forest, a clash between activists and authorities ends in tragedy. I'm Matthew Scher, and on my new podcast, We Came to the Forest, we expose the hidden truths behind a shootout that left one activist dead and countless lives forever changed. Binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest ad-free on Wondery Plus.
Hello, and welcome to Crime and Sports.
Yay!
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmie. Yay indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I am Jimmie Whisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us on a crazy, outlandish, multicolored edition of Crime and Sports. I say that referring to the participant's hair.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've seen it because you clicked on the thing. It's Dennis Rodman.
Yeah.
So it's just a sea of crazy we have before you. He's one of those people that you think you know. You're like, yeah, I know Dennis, he does this. And then you're like, oh my God, I didn't realize it was that much crazy. Like everybody we do like that. It's like, I know they did some things, but holy shit, when you really line it up, put it all in a 2-hour perspective, it's really something.
And you really have a timeline of a snow cone of disaster.
It's really a disaster. But thank you guys so much for everything this week, especially your reviews, those purple icon, Apple Music, Apple Podcast, whatever the hell it is, reviews. They help. We don't know why, but they help drive you up their silly charts with that algorithm that we can't figure out. Yeah. And that's it. So they help a lot. So thank you for those who do that. Doesn't matter what you say. Just give us 5 stars. Tell you're following instructions, following directions. It's not for our ego. Right. It's for business purposes. Head on over to shutupandgivememurder.com.
Do that.
For all of your crime and sports and small town murder needs. If you're not listening to Small Town Murder, I don't know what turnip truck you fell off of, but you should probably get on that because it's like this, but there's murder and craziness and just white trash aplenty. Yeah. It's craziness. So listen to that. Get all your merchandise. There's tons of stuff, new stuff up there.
There always is.
Ringtones. I don't think we ever mentioned the ringtones.
Once or twice.
They came out eventually. So there's some ringtones there. So you want ringtones, do that. If you want to be an absolute hero of ours, a producer who we don't have shout outs this week because Jimmie just got off literally has his suitcase in his hand,
20 minutes ago
from the airport and rushed to my house. That's why this episode's going up a couple hours late because he doesn't know how to make flight reservations properly. Barely makes it to shows and gets here late.
I'm here.
That's how it goes. But he's here and you're getting an episode, damn it. But there's no shouts. But our shouts will be on Small Town Murder this week and they'll be extra. We'll give it extra gusto.
Yes.
And thank you people extra. But you can do that very easily be one of our producers by going to patreon.com/crimeinsports or head over to PayPal and use our email address, which is crimeinsports@gmail.com if you want to make a one-time donation. And anything you do is spectacularly appreciated. We can't thank you crazy folks enough. Thank you for everything you do for us. Honestly, you guys are awesome. And we are working on more live shows for Crime and Sports for 2020. There's going to be at least a couple. We know of one definitely right now. And we're not going to tell you, but we know of one for sure that's happening in 2020. And then we know we're going to work on a couple more. So, look out for those. But buy your tickets to Small Town Murder because I'm telling you, it's going to be the best comedy show you've seen.
We have so much fun. fun.
That's what I mean. You go to a stand-up show, and it's like, yeah, there's a guy with a microphone. And even if he's great, even if he's a terrific, amazing, even if you go see Bill Burr, he's incredible. And you're going to laugh till you hurt.
Right.
But if you go to see us, there's two of us.
Right.
So, I mean, two of us can marginally almost equal the talent of a Bill Burr. But we also have a story and pictures. So that takes us over the top. No, you can't compete with that. It's not fair.
He doesn't have that.
It's just not fair.
No.
If he had stories and pictures, then we'd be fucked.
Whatever,
but if two of us plus stories plus pictures equals slightly above, I think above Bill Burr's live show, maybe. It's possible. I'm not sure, though.
We do have a lot of fun, and
it's a good time.
The show that you build is fucking incredible.
We
I
have a great time. But let's get to this, because it's a deep. This is one of those ones where it takes so long to put together, because you're not just putting together a story. It's like 75 stories at once that
he's been doing it for so long.
He's been around forever, and he's been crazy. And this is up until like 2 weeks ago. All this is happening too. Like, this never stops with Dennis Rodman. It never stops.
Yeah.
It's Dennis Rodman, the worm.
Yes.
Let's get into it, everybody. Dennis Keith Rodman.
That was his middle name.
Yeah, I did.
Jesus.
He's still alive
Sorry,
and kicking.
Dennis.
Sorry, Dennis Rodman. And it doesn't seem like a guy whose middle name would be Keith, honestly. Keith sounds like somebody's, like, white stepdad who...
Or maybe it's perfect for him because it just doesn't fit anything.
Kids, this is Keith.
Yeah.
Keith's your new daddy. All right. That's what it sounds like to me.
You can call Keith dad. His name sucks.
Keith sucks. So, but Dennis Rodman, and we have to say, with both of us, I know I'm speaking here for Jimmie as well, and he'll chime in himself, but we both, when he played, now he's out of his mind, but when he was a player, I loved Dennis Rodman.
My favorite.
Absolutely one of my favorite sports players of all time, of any sport. He's a lunatic, but a lunatic in a wonderful way.
Absolutely.
He played his position to just as hard as it could be played. He was so good at the thing he wanted to be good at that no one else cared about. He was amazing. So, and I mean that in the glowingest possible term. He was amazing on the court.
He did it so weirdly with flair and attention.
Yeah.
He cared. He gave a shit.
He did. Rebounding is his big skill.
That's his thing.
So now, if you're not a big basketball fan, you go, I don't understand how that's a big thing. It is. It's not there's stuff other than scoring.
Second chance points can change a game.
Absolutely. And rebounding on the level he rebounds absolutely changes a game. I mean, it's a difference between winning and losing, and it's crazy how much of a difference he makes. So for a guy like that, though, unless you're scoring, you don't really get noticed. There's no Sports Center highlight of you getting a nice rebound and then kicking out to Isaiah Thomas. That's not really
that's not exciting.
That's not exciting.
No.
You have to dunk and then hit a three-pointer or something. So he had to make his own highlights other than just getting rebounds and doing what he did, and he did that with his insanity.
Off the court and on it.
And then, and then it just carried over. It's like he made this persona, it feels like, to try to have some kind of persona, and then it took over him. He's like the wrestlers we talk about who start believing their own character, and then just they're all of a sudden they're Jake the Snake in real life, and you're like, what the fuck is happening? Coke residue all his mustache. And you're like, this is a mess. That's like Dennis Rodman.
This isn't good.
No, and he does wrestle, and he fits in with that whole thing very, very well.
Yeah.
I must say, born way back. This all started on May 13th, 1961.
Okay,
so 1961. He's in his 50s now. Yeah.
Old
Dennis. He's born in Trenton, New Jersey. So that I did not actually know before this.
Okay.
His parents, his father's a junior.
Oh, is that right?
He's not a junior, but his father's a junior.
Okay.
His father's name is Philander Rodman Jr.
I do remember that.
Which is really perfect for his father, because we'll talk about his dad. Philander does some philandering, we'll just say. I mean, that's an easy joke, low-hanging fruit, but wow, that's so apt you can't even ignore it.
It's
not like he has 3 kids.
That's like if Fat Joe's name was actually Fat Joe when he was born.
Yeah, that's...
perfect.
Good job. Nice job.
You nailed it.
Yeah. Fucking nailed it. So his father says that, okay, this is amazing. His father claims to have 29 children with 16 women.
Okay.
So that's his dad.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about.
But that's
here.
his claim.
That's his claim.
So and there could be more.
Rodman says, though, himself, Dennis will later say that he himself, Dennis, is the oldest of 47 children.
That makes sense.
Which I wouldn't doubt. If you have 29, why not 46? Right. Anything's possible if you have 29 kids. You're clearly not careful at all. That's not a couple accidents. That is on purpose almost with 16 different women. Good God.
It just feels better when you leave it in.
I guess so. Jesus Christ. Give him a vasectomy in his sleep. You know what I mean?
Wake him up with a baseball bat to the groin every day.
Poison him. I want to put something in his food every day to make him not fertile. It's a mercury poisoning or so. What makes you not fertile?
I don't know.
Poison philander, please, because no one should have
always make microwavable popcorn right next to his balls.
Always, please, constantly put your cell phone there. Everything, just stack it on top of his balls. Anything with any kind of radiation or. If you have a conspiracy theory of any kind, let's test it out on him.
Lead blankets at the dentist? No, he doesn't need them.
Nope, please.
Just check the teeth.
Then he'll just make kids with 5 arms instead. He'll still have them. That's the problem. He's still going to be fertile.
Unbelievable.
Now, his father was an enlisted man in the Air Force who fought in Vietnam and everything like that. Yeah, so who knows? These kids are all over the planet. That's the other thing. He's got kids of all stripes and
this is awesome.
Creeds and colors and on different continents and everything else.
You're bound to make a basketball player. You keep doing that.
Eventually. If you have 29 kids, one of them's going to be athletic with 16 women.
Right.
Eventually, the genetics are all going to line up. Right. I'm sorry. Jimmie, line up.
Got to.
If you go out and have 29 children with 16
one
women,
of them's going to be successful.
One of them's going to be a baseball player, football player, a musician. 1 out of 29 people are going to do well for themselves. And you're going to, the odds are in your favor. And then just latch on to that one.
Incredible.
That's how it works here. Now, his father left his mother early. His mother's name is Shirley. He left early. He left when I've heard different accounts, either when Dennis was 3 or 6. It seems to be 2 different accounts of it. I'm not sure which one is true here. A lot of these, it becomes lore after a while with these people.
Yeah.
They write a book and they don't even remember. And then it gets mixed up in that. And then another family member will say something and that'll be a fact somewhere else. So it all gets skewed.
So good.
Now, his father left the family and settled in the Philippines. So he wasn't like, in the next town. Dennis didn't see him every other weekend. He was just gone.
Wow.
To plant that many seeds, it takes time.
Yeah.
You need to be gone.
You need space.
Let's be honest here. You can't do that from home. This isn't a work at home type of job to do that here. That's a lot. Now, wow. Now, Shirley obviously has the kids at home, Dennis and his sisters.
Right.
She had, with Philander, and she had all sorts of jobs and different jobs, multiple jobs, up to 4 jobs at the same time. It said, which is insane here. In 1997, he wrote one of his books.
Yeah.
He wrote so many.
I think this is the one I read, though.
He was like Stephen King for a while with his books. Like they were just,
every year a new one's coming out.
He had to do crazy shit to write about it. Yeah. So it was like, if I can't just stay home, I won't be able to write this book. I don't know how he got anything done. He said in the book, quote, "I haven't seen my father in more than 30 years, so what's there to miss? I just look at it like this. Some man brought me into this world. That doesn't mean I have a father." So yeah, he eventually meets his father again in 2012.
My God.
So yeah, that long it took. That's a long time.
What the? He's in his 40s?
Yeah,
41 years old?
That was late. Yeah, very late.
Good Lord.
So yeah, that's rough.
Makes my 28 look like a
50.
Is that 50?
51 years old.
Good Christ.
He was 51 years old.
What's the point?
Finally saw his father. Well, his father was like, "Hey,
is he dying?
How's it going, Dennis?" No, he probably needed some cash or something. I don't know.
At that point, you just want to meet the guy to find out what you need to look after in your own health.
What's wrong with you? Well, if he's still alive, that's a good sign right there. Hey, all right.
That's helpful.
Starting at a a good place. You're
Did you happen to do a lot of coke and drink a lot? Because I've been doing that.
I've been doing that. So how's that affect the body there? How is that? Your liver okay? Everything good there? Strong liver. Okay,
got water on the brain at all? Anything?
A little bit, something. How are your hips? Because my left one's a little sore. You play any basketball? So he has two sisters, Deborah and Kim, and they all grew up in Dallas in not a nice neighborhood.
Yeah.
Poor area. They were very poor. He was kind of a mama's boy as a child. When he was 4, there's a famous account here that he said, I think in his book here, that he didn't want to, she sent him to like nursery school when he was 4 years old. He wouldn't like do anything or move because he was sad that his mother wasn't there and shit like that. Dennis has a real, I mean, I don't want to speak for him, obviously, but from everything he said publicly, seems to have quite the gripe with his mom.
Really?
Dennis, his behavior with women later on sort of like makes sense in how he views his mother and his sisters and shit like that. You go, well, if you have that view, you're not going to have a real healthy view about women. You know
Any
what I'm
woman
saying?
in your life at all.
Yeah, it's just not now, and we don't know how true this is or if this is just perceived. That's the thing with when you're a kid. Sometimes you perceive shit that's not even true because you feel bad about yourself because your dad left. So you know what I'm saying? Like we've
believe me,
we know where you're at here, Dennis. We've all you know, it's a weird thing that you have when you're a kid when your family's not exactly perfect.
Yeah, that is interesting too, because just from that book, from where I stopped paying attention to what Dennis Rodman was doing in his life, he had his daughter on a goddamn pedestal. Yeah, and that's very strange too, because but I do the same with my daughter. Like she's everything. But
we'll talk about how much of a pedestal really. It's a public pedestal. Yeah, we'll say. But we'll get some comments from the mother of his kids about how much of a pedestal it is in reality.
Really?
Yeah, that sort of thing here. So his sisters were good at basketball. Mm-hmm. They were tall. His sisters are like 6'1" and 6'2", and they're good at basketball, and they had a lot of attention put on them for that. And he was like a joke. Yeah, his sisters were better at basketball than he was as a kid. He was a short kid. He wasn't a big guy at all. He has a very different. Most of these people we talk about, especially in the NBA. Baseball, it's different. They could come up at any size, any whatever. Boxing, same thing. Basketball, usually it's like, well, from the time he was 11, you know, he was put in a special program and he killed 4 people and they were like, it's okay, little buddy, here, we'll teach you how to shoot layups with your left hand. You know what I'm saying? Like you're special. With Dennis, he was never special, ever as a kid. He was not any kind of, his sisters were the special ones. Deborah and Kim were All-Americans at Louisiana Tech and Stephen F. Austin universities. So they were, you know, his sister won 2 national titles, for Christ's sake. Deborah did with Louisiana Tech. So that's,
Did she ever play in the, well, I guess she was probably too early for the
That was way early. That was the 80s. This was going on here. So, I mean, this was a serious thing here. Rodman was considered the fuck up of the family. Sure. That's all here. Now, he goes to South Oak Cliff High School in Dallas. In gym class, his teacher is Gary Blair, who will later be the Texas A&M basketball coach, which is very strange here.
That's good for him.
And this guy coached both his sisters, and the school won 3 state championships from that. So obviously he was a good coach, and his sisters are very talented, and nobody gives a shit about Dennis. He said that in his own words, he wasn't really able to even hit a layup in high school. He was so shitty.
It didn't change to the NBA.
Yeah.
He was still pretty bad.
He was still offensively not very great. As a freshman, he was only 5'6".
No kidding?
In high school. Freshman in high school, 5'6". He played 1 year of junior varsity basketball and then was cut in his sophomore year, and he never could make the varsity team, and he got cut from the football team, never made the football team. So he was totally devastated because in his family, his sisters were getting all this praise and everything through athletics, and he was like, oh yeah, that's what we do. And then no.
What the shit?
He not quite.
Is this true?
This is he was a small guy. When he graduated from high school, he was 5'11".
Well, what the shit?
He was 5'11".
You were bigger than him.
It's the weirdest thing. It's so strange, growth spurts. How they have most of these kids, they have them at 13, 14, and then they put on a couple extra. This guy is 5'11" when he graduated. When you graduate, you look at a guy, you don't go, well, he'll get taller. Right. You just go, that's pretty much what you are now.
It makes so much sense why he looks like a deer now.
Well, yeah, because it happened late.
He still isn't used to it.
He isn't. No, he isn't. He was after this is in a year he shot up like 10 inches, basically 9 inches in the next 2 years. Wow. From 18 to 20, which just does not happen.
No.
It's just not a thing that happens. He has the weirdest life, this guy. It's very strange. So apparently after high school, at some point his mom kicks him out of the house and he's homeless for a while and is sleeping on couches and
I remember that
shit like that in his car. When he's 20, now think about when most of our NBA guys are 20. They're either already in the NBA on our show,
or they got 2 years,
or they're in a major college program and they're like having all this. He, on the other hand, is taking a job as a janitor at the airport in Dallas.
Oh, God, Jesus, the worst.
So, yeah, night shift, by the way.
Oh, even worse.
He's working overnight. No, there's not even people there. It's just him walking with a mop bucket.
It's him walking with a mop bucket and me stranded at gate B-22 going, where the fuck's my plane?
He's just walking around fighting Pac-Man Jones. That's all he's doing. Maybe that guy's a future Dennis Rodman. Maybe he just sprouted up, the guy who fought Pac-Man in the airport.
I had no idea.
He's working as a janitor at the Dallas airport when he's 20 years old.
He hasn't really even played sports.
No, he has. He's played 1 year of junior varsity basketball.
And got cut.
That's it. So, I mean, this is not anywhere near the trajectory of our normal NBA player or any of our sport athletes. The only time once in a while an MMA fighter or a boxer at 20 is still rudderless and doesn't even know he wants to do what he's doing.
Or the baseball player. Who was the one that just picked up baseball in college?
Was it Toe Nash later on?
Was it Toe or was it fucking Lenny Dykstra? No,
definitely. But no, baseball's a hard thing, but you never see this.
No.
Even like guys who later on who are, Hakeem Olajuwon didn't play bad. He still played in teenager,
right?
Coming
into his own time.
Yeah, he's 20. He still has no.
The man's got a day job.
Yeah. Oh, he's got a day job, night job for Christ's sake. Worse than a day job, as a matter of fact.
He wishes he had a day job.
Yeah, he's like, if I could only get on 8 to 4. My life would be different. I could get a girlfriend. This pays $1 more an hour. Right. This is, that's the glory shift, though. Really, Jimmy, that's the problem. It's the glory shift, and there's politics involved. You know how that goes.
You gotta know somebody.
Nothing is more political. There's certain things, the old timey system in New York under that Tammany Hall and Chicago politics notorious, and also the Dallas Airport janitorial custodial services. Politics.
So thick.
It's thick. You got to know people. Unions.
You got to be
involved.
bred into it.
That's the thing.
Is.
What was your dad?
What'd your dad do?
If he was a janitor, like a custodial supervisor, then you could. But Philander, he's not anywhere to be found. He's not helping Dennis. You think one of his brothers or sisters could help him out of the 29? Somebody give me a fucking job, Jesus. So one night he is at the airport, and there's conflicting reports of how this ended up happening. Some people, I think he said it was on a dare. Right. Other people said he just did it. But he finds the gift shop at the airport one night when everyone's gone, and I think it's through an air vent. Jimmie's something open, and ends up stealing 50 watches from the gift shop.
What the fuck?
Okay. So he steals 50 watches. So he's a dude, he works at the airport at night, and he stole
Airport gift shop watches.
Airport gift shop
Good
watches.
Lord.
So he's got 50 watches. So the weird part, he doesn't take them and pawn them or anything like that. He just gives them to his friends. He's just like, I got watches, and just starts giving them out to his friends.
I know, it says DFW. It's all for you.
Yeah, I don't know. Here, there's a picture of a plane on it.
I'm not sure. Hudson News.
I'm sure if you want that. Yeah. Sorry about that. It's got an Evian logo on it, and I think it's a sponsorship thing. I'm not positive, but it's so stupid. So he does that. He just said he wanted his friends to think he was cool, basically. That's all he was looking for. And but he gets arrested for it.
Yeah.
Because, it wasn't too hard to figure out who it was. And there's, surveillance cameras all over airports, even in the 80s.
Yeah.
So, they caught him pretty easily. Hey, isn't that the janitor who was really tall all of a sudden?
Yeah.
He wasn't 6 months ago, but
he wasn't yesterday.
Boy, is that the janitor? He looks taller than usual. Jesus Christ. So he's arrested. He spends a night in jail here. Now, what he ends up doing, though, is that basically because he works there, and I guess he was a good employee, they make a deal with him basically where he will not have charges pressed against him if he gets all the watches back. So then he has to go to all his friends and collect all these 50 watches back, and he does, and he turns them all in, and he gets...
He remembered who he gave 50 fucking watches
to? He figured it out, yeah. If it's that or get charged with, robbery and theft and all this shit and lose your job. I guess he probably lost his job anyway, but he figured it out, and they dropped the charges against him.
Lucky.
So that was good. That was really lucky for him here.
Lucky his friends coveted a fucking Evian watch.
Yeah, it's a sweet Evian. Dude, that's a hot shit Evian you got there. It's fucking dope. I had a Fiji, but that's a little classier. Slightly classier. Nah, that Dasani didn't work at all. No. It stopped ticking. I threw it in the garbage the first day I got it. It was a pile of shit. The Aquafina wouldn't even tick. I don't know what the hell that thing was stopped. on a time it wasn't.
You find me a Voss, I'll suck your dick.
Oh, well, that's a different story. That's the Rolex of sponsorship
the watch
airport
or
gift
the
shop.
bottle of water.
Yeah. The Rolex of airport gift shop sponsor watches is Voss, obviously.
Voss is amazing.
We all know that. So he ends up, he's kind of hanging around, and he plays a little ball on the street and shit like that because he's fucking 6'8". So, you know. And he's good now because the thing is, he throws himself into everything with gusto. Yeah. And that's the other reason why in the NBA he throws himself into everything with gusto. He doesn't have the skills that everybody else has. These guys have been doing this on organized teams and running these drills and all this shit since they were 7. Yeah. He's not done any of that. So he doesn't have the ball handling. He doesn't have the basic, normal, just skills that you build up over the years of not having to think when you do something.
Right.
Watch Gordon Ramsay chop an onion.
Oh God, that is terrifying.
And then you chop an onion. No. And it doesn't look like the same thing.
I look so stupid.
And you can chop an onion.
Yeah.
But
it takes forever.
But that's the difference between someone who's not a professional basketball player handling a basketball and a person who has had a basketball attached to them since they were 7. It's a different amount of skill. Mm-hmm. So, but he's out there, and a friend of his, I guess, knows the head coach of the Cook County College, which is now North Central Texas College, which is in Gainesville, Texas, and they recruit him.
No kidding.
Want to come play here? It's just some shitty little college, and you're the tallest guy we can find.
I'd love it.
And he said, sure. Yeah. And he goes there, and he averaged 17.6 points and 13.3 rebounds.
Jesus.
Does great, and then quits because he can't handle the schoolwork.
Really?
He has no interest in the schoolwork whatsoever and doesn't want to do it. And just ends up quitting.
Dennis,
yeah. So somehow he ends up at Southeastern Oklahoma State.
Yes.
Okay, which obviously the huge powerhouse.
Oh, God.
Here, I have a list of, right here, hold on, of their alumni, NBA alumni, you know, and it's... You got a pen?
Yep.
Okay, it's Dennis Rodman.
Yep.
Okay, so he was at a basketball camp. There's
End of list.
That's it. He's the only player that's ever NBA player that's ever played for Southeastern Oklahoma State.
Dennis Keith, nobody
else. That's it. He's the list. So he played at a basketball camp there. He worked at a basketball camp there with kids. I guess it was part of being on the team. I suppose pre his freshman year or whatever it would be. I guess his sophomore year. By the way, he's like 22 at this point. And then he's just starting college.
But he doesn't have any kids, and that's amazing.
That is kind of actually remarkable for our guys anyway. Yeah, for anyone
incredible.
Who we do on Crime and Sports.
The man's into his mid-20s.
He's ahead of himself here. Yeah, he's in college. He's in his 20s. He's in college and has no children.
That's incredible.
He's way ahead of the game. But he's also like 10 million behind some of our guys in dollars.
Right.
So it's it's a sliding scale. So he strikes up a relationship with a kid here. He, everything you read about it, they always say strikes up. Yeah. I'm like, how do you strike up a relationship with a child? But it's a weird thing to say. That's why I had to use that terminology they all use. I'm like, how weird thing to say. I don't know. He became friends with a 13-year-old kid. 13-year-old little kid named Bryn or Brian. I don't know. It's Bryne. Is that someone's wise ass attempt at Brian?
It's gotta be, right?
Bryn? I'm not sure.
It can't be Bryn. That's a girl's name, right?
I hope not. Bryn.
God damn it. Don't you dare name a boy Bryn.
Is it Brine?
It could be
like Ryan, like Ryan Sandberg isn't quite Ryan.
Yeah,
maybe this is Brian.
It better be Brian.
Yeah, we're gonna call him Brian for now.
Oh God,
like we're making fucking pickled eggs or something. We're gonna call him Brian. So Brian Rich here. This kid is 13 years old, and he's a little white kid. And we only say that because it's important in a minute here, because you'll find out why. This kid, Jesus Christ, had recently accidentally killed his best friend in a hunting accident.
Oh, Jesus.
So he was a fucking disaster, obviously.
Can you imagine?
A 13-year-old child who seriously accidentally, not like, normally, not like small town murder accidentally.
Right.
Like literally accidentally didn't mean to do it.
Like the ducks flew, he turned, shot, and took his friend's head.
Head of a fucking top of his head off clean or some shit. Who knows what happened. But I guess this kid now has been having nightmares, hardcore PTSD for a child who shot his best friend to death by accident. So this basketball camp, they're trying to like get him out and to do stuff. He hasn't slept in his own bed since it happened. ruined this kid. Just ruined him.
Over.
He's destroyed, right?
And now he's going to hang out with Dennis Rodman?
So he befriends Dennis Rodman, who's at this point a community college dropout basketball janitor watch thief. That's who he is, who's played a couple months of junior college basketball and a little junior varsity.
This is amazing.
Just some tall guy. So they become friends somehow, which is just the strangest Michael Jackson Macaulay Culkin, and I don't mean this in a molesty way, but weird Macaulay Culkin relationship.
It's a strange pairing.
It's a strange pairing. It's not like he's 17 and this kid's 13.
It's the worst buddy cop ever.
Yeah. It's the worst. It's like Burt Reynolds and the little black kid in the 80s.
Just fucking opposite.
Yeah.
But if Burt Reynolds was a fucking lunatic and washed up with nothing right now.
Dennis Rodman, by the way, idea for you, do a movie where you and a little white kid are solving crimes, because that's fucking hilarious.
And have to.
That would be hilarious.
Court ordered.
Yeah, court ordered. Like, that has to be. You and just a shitty little white kid who you, like, won't take to, Starbucks or whatever the fuck he wants. You're not having it.
Some ratty-ass kid.
Yeah, you're not having it, you little bastard.
With PTSD from fucking killing his
best friend.
Unbelievable.
And he's like, at least your friend doesn't have to talk to you now, because I'm stuck with you. And, quippy lines like that, Dennis.
Some snappy shit that cuts
Come
and
on.
hurts.
Dialogue. Comedy. Bring it back. So this poor kid who's befriended Dennis Rodman.
After he eats something really fast. Boy, you really murdered that.
Murdered that steak, boy. Tell you something. So they become best pals.
Yes.
Okay. Best pals here. He ends up basically moving onto their farm of their family while he's at Southeastern Oklahoma State, which is, by the way, he's a 3-time, I think it's small college All-American, like it's the
Rodman
NAIA or whatever it is. Yeah. So he's a beast in college, but he ends up moving in with this family. They invite him. It's in rural Oklahoma.
With Brian's family.
With Brian's family. And, apparently at first, the kid invited him, and they were like, well, they want to make the kid feel better, so they'll let his friend from basketball camp come.
Oh, Jesus.
But they are self-avowed very racist.
Really?
They don't hide. They're not like saying, no, we were well. They were like, we didn't like that he was black and coming into our fucking house. Like, they were absolutely upfront with it.
All black and eating our food.
Oh,
and
yeah.
shit.
Oh, they called him the N-word.
No kidding?
Absolutely called him to his face the N-word. They say that, not just him.
Wow.
They said they called him the N-word.
So he shows up. They call him the N-word.
Hi, N-word. Thanks for making our kid feel better. You want something to eat? Huh? The fuck am I? What's happening? What's going on?
And he stuck around.
I'm going to the Philippines. I know what and he stuck around. It's very strange. I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure. But
is that how bad his life is elsewhere? That he's just like, I'll put up with this shit?
Pretty much. But they were, in the end, they said they were so happy and so, like, indebted to him for making their son not a vegetable anymore, like coming out of his shell.
Sure.
That they said they were able to set aside their racial animus. The mother, Pat, here. This is this woman's quote. I have a quote from this woman. This is amazing, by the way. The first sentence is the amazing part, because the rest of it is just, stupid. But the first sentence is like, why is that weird? Quote, it was weird. Dennis just started bonding with us. We forgot that he was black. We just looked at his inner being. Well, then... It was weird. It's so strange when you talk to a human being and you're like, I thought you were an alien because your skin is slightly darker than mine, because Dennis isn't even that fucking black. And you're like, then I realized, holy shit, you're just like a weird. Hey, do you know they like just watch TV and read and eat food like everybody? I didn't know that. I had no idea. I heard you just ate baby hearts and shit. Like, what the fuck is she talking about? It was weird. Why is it weird?
It was weird. I just became friends with a man.
I talked to a person. Talked to a person, and we just, connected on a human level.
We realized that we breathe air and we drink water and shit.
Super weird. Did you know that black people don't have gills? Because I thought in their rib cage. Right. That's what I always said. Imagined. I didn't know. Jesus Christ. But I talked to Dennis and he set me straight. They don't have gills.
What a stupid thing to say out loud.
She said that to a reporter who had a tape recorder running.
Yeah.
She said it was weird. We just started bonding. We forgot he was even black. I mean, who could?
Unbelievable.
You know how it goes. So he said, though, he basically loved being with this family. He felt like it was like a family. It was a stable life, a stable environment. It was a farm. He said he went from being like inner city Dallas to, quote, driving a tractor and messing with cows.
Okay.
So he turned into
a great time.
Dennis Rodman cowboy. Yeah, that's the one thing with Dennis Rodman. He'll adapt to his surroundings. Like he's a chameleon.
He can deal.
He'll change his color,
right.
like his hair
legitimately change his color.
And change his attitude. He'll just do whatever he needs to do here. So, he apparently, for some reason, though, in 2013, everybody says this, in 2013, he stopped communicating with this family, and they don't know why. They're like, I don't know what the hell happened to him, but not sure.
Maybe he got a new pen pal.
Not positive. Yeah, he found another Corey Feldman he's going to start hanging out with now. It's another old Michael Jackson joke. Yeah. He's like, I'm sorry, man, me and Kim Jong, because that's the same time.
What are you guys, the fucking dictators?
You guys are you starving? How many millions of people are you starving to death, huh? That's real power. Now that's power.
Start calling yourself the Supreme something, and
Jesus
we'll talk out again.
Christ, yeah. I mean, they say he doesn't shit.
Yeah.
He's a perfectly efficient being.
Inside.
No, he's a perfectly efficient being.
Right.
His body runs at 100% efficiency, they say. Literally. That everything, he's got perfectly balanced. It's amazing.
What a dickhead.
So, Jesus. Southeastern Oklahoma State. We'll buzz through this because no one cares about those stats. But, he played in 30 games his freshman year. 26 points a game, 13.1 rebounds. He is 22, playing against 17-year-olds also is the other thing, which doesn't hurt. But they also all have played more basketball than him, so he's kind of at a disadvantage. Next year, he plays sophomore year, 32 games, 26.8 points a game, 15.9 rebounds.
Jumping him up.
An absolute monster in that small college environment. If you saw him play in the NBA and he was doing that to, Akeem Olajuwon, you can imagine what he was like with these guys here. 34 games this next year, 24.4 points, 17.8 rebounds per game, which is just ridiculous. And tons of blocks too. I mean, he's dominating, stealing balls. He's averaging 2 steals a game.
That's great.
He's nasty. He's very nasty.
Did he play center in college, or was he playing power forward again?
I'm not positive in Southeastern Oklahoma State.
Could have been small forward. Who fucking knows?
Who knows? They could have just had him to be, you're the center because you can rebound. Right. So who knows? I don't know if they had a 7-footer down there or not, or anybody who's 6'11" or whatever. But June 17th, 1986 is the NBA draft. And now this, by the way, a little thing here. The Detroit Pistons in 1982 acquired their second-round draft pick from the Cleveland Cavaliers 4 years earlier for a guy named Steve Hayes.
Ooh.
So, in the end, the Pistons traded Steve Hayes and got Dennis Rodman.
Wow.
So, not a bad trade in the 4 years in the future.
The second round?
Yeah, that was the second round. This is the year Brad Daugherty, the first overall pick, Len Bias, died the day he got drafted of a cocaine overdose. Chris Washburn, Chuck Person, Kenny Walker, the big kid and play, flat topped, always in the dunk contests with the Knicks. I liked him. Roy Tarpley was one of our guys, of course. He was a goddamn disaster. By the way, one of the things that happens to Dennis Rodman later on in the newspaper thing that I found of the blurb of that, right under that was Alvin Robertson arrested for burglary and resisting arrest. And I was like, oh, I've read this whole thing before.
This whole goddamn page is my jam.
But I mean, this draft has a lot of people you've heard: Ron Harper, Johnny Dawkins, John Sally.
Yeah.
A lot of people you've heard of. And that's the first for Scott Skiles, who's still a coach, Sabonis.
I think we've gone through this whole goddamn draft before.
We have, yeah.
It sounds familiar.
86 probably.
Yeah.
Mark Price was drafted first in the second round.
Okay.
Number 27 overall here. Second round, the Detroit Pistons pick Dennis Rodman from Southeastern Oklahoma State.
Did you just tell me that Mark Price and Brad Daugherty both got drafted
same year
by the Cavs in the same year?
Same year.
Unbelievable.
They drafted their boring 90s team all at once.
That is incredible. Yep. Mark Eaton and all that shit.
Yeah, it's ready to score 64 points a game and bore the shit out of anyone watching.
Frustrate and bore the pants off of you.
Jesus. Oh, Kevin Duckworth was later on in that draft,
all right.
too.
He was a piece of shit, wasn't he?
No, he was okay. David Wingate, though, also later on. We'll have an episode about him one day. He did some bad stuff here. But yeah, he's picked there, so good for him. This was when the draft had 7 rounds, by the way.
That's a long day.
Yeah, now it's 2. That's it. So he gets drafted by Detroit, goes to Detroit in 1986-87, and this team in Detroit is,
oh boy,
this is quite the squad. squad of
good team.
Man, there's some beastly people on this team too. This is the bad boys of. If you don't know about basketball, I guess we have to fill people in. If you don't know about basketball, this era of Detroit basketball, Detroit Pistons, they were called the bad boys. And they would beat the shit out of people during games.
They were tough.
It was all elbows, and they would beat the shit out of him. Bill Laimbeer.
Laimbeer's
he was the
most
king
stereotypical.
Thug, then there was Joe
Dumars,
Isaiah Thomas, that whole crew. That Johnson off the bench, and Mark Aguirre on the team. They were not Johnson. I meant Mark Aguirre off the bench. They were a nasty squad. Those Pistons teams, and he fits perfectly into this team.
Shit, yeah.
And he fits Detroit. Like, he's good for Detroit.
He is Detroit.
They like effort, and they want to punch in the mouth. It's a lot like Philly. They want somebody. That's why they love Lenny Dykstra. He'll run into the wall with his head. They appreciate that. That's those cities like that. They appreciate it. New York, if you're a crazy person, they appreciate you. Lenny Dykstra also very popular there. So that tells you a lot.
Gritty cities.
They like it. So he plays in 77 games. Only starts one, but he's barely played basketball, for Christ's sake. So that's even amazing that he does that here. But he ends up only 4.3 rebounds per game here because he's hardly playing. 6.5 points per game. They haven't figured out how to use him yet. And the minute he's only playing 15 minutes a game too. So very, very low. It's at this point that he starts running his mouth for the first time in the press, and he says that Larry Bird is overrated. He's a rookie. Larry Bird's won 3 MVPs already at this point.
What are you doing,
has
Dennis?
Multiple rings. Like, he says Larry Bird's overrated because he's white, and he's a shitty white player that just is overrated, and people like him because he's white.
Okay.
Now, that's true a lot of times. Christian Laettner existed he was on the dream team for a
big
reason.
Deal.
Yeah, they were like, all we have is Stockton? Jesus Christ. And Bird too? All right, we'll put Laettner on there, I guess. They need 3, I guess.
His name's Christian.
Yeah,
it's so wholesome.
It's weird. Yeah, so there was not a lot of that happens a lot. You see guys, white dudes in basketball that are, obviously you got your Dirk Nowitzkis and you got your guys like that who are as good as anybody, but
and your Del Currys.
Oh yeah, there you go. A lot of times though, they get a little more leeway because it's always been the rule back in the day. Like in the 60s, there was like early 60s, it was always like 2 black players per team. That was like the unspoken rule in the NBA, and they kind of went from there. And the ABA kind of, when they started having success with more players,
like a salary cap.
Well, when
blackery cap.
Yeah, well, when teams, and then some team is going to go, fuck that. I'm going to get a bunch of guys that are good, and then you have a team of 5 black guys who are crushing everybody. They just got the best players.
How about
they
just
didn't
want
care.
talent?
And then everyone went, well, we have to compete with it. We'll just make sure we get the best players instead of a certain
Who gives
amount.
A shit what color they are?
That's the thing.
I just wanted to put the fucking ball in the hoop.
They were always worried in the NBA, for some reason, they were always worried that no one will go watch black guys play basketball. And it's like, you know what they'll watch? People who are good at basketball, playing basketball. That's what people want to watch.
Aren't even in a league, and they sell out everywhere.
They want to watch.
It's a blast.
Yeah, you want to watch somebody who's much better than you at what's happening.
And whatever it is.
So whoever the best you can get is, that's if I'm going to pay you money, get the fucking best. If you're a circus, you're going to show me an elephant, it better be the biggest fucking elephant you can find for my ticket price. You know what I'm saying?
Make it do more shit than I can make it do an elephant do.
Biggest elephant standing on the smallest ball. That's what I'm saying. That's what I want out of
Here's
you for my
$20.
ticket price. Yeah, pow. Make my kid smile. I'm just kidding. So, yeah, he says that then people got mad about that, obviously, and so he said, quote, "The only thing I'm sorry about is that now some people are calling Dennis Rodman a racist. I'm not a racist. I lived with a white family several years ago. They know I'm not a racist, and they called me the N-word." He didn't say that part, but he said, "And there's no way anyone who really knows me would think that I'm a racist. I made the comments about Bird because there's a lot of other players in our league, black and white, who don't get the recognition they deserve. I think that's something that should be looked at," is what he said. He said Magic got screwed out of the MVP last year because Larry Bird got it instead. He said Bird can't run. He's slow. He's white. That's the only reason he gets the MVP. Nobody gives Magic Johnson credit. So,
and I don't disagree with him. Larry Bird was the least fun to watch.
Yeah. Oh,
he's
like watching paint dry, but for fuck's sake, he ends up stealing the ball somehow and getting it. I don't know what the he's.
It's amazing.
He's one of those guys where you don't know how he's doing it, but he's just amazing out there. It's
you want to be like, I'll show you guys.
Yeah.
swat the ball from him. It's that easy. He fucking holds it in front of your face. And he's not even good at this.
He can run around him. He's really slow. So.
He dribbles it really fucking high.
Yeah. Oh, Christ. He said, quote, I said he was overrated, but please tell people I didn't use the word white. I'm not racist. But then later on he said it.
He's white.
Yeah. So Pat Riley, he said about him, because they had played, the Lakers and Celtics had played, he said that, quote, there must be a wind tunnel between those ears. Making a comment like that is totally out of line. And he says no one's giving him shit, though. And he says it's fine. He says, quote, but there's no way I think Bird's the greatest player of all time. I don't think anyone ever said that.
No.
Except that outside of
French Lick, Indiana?
Outside of French Lick, Indiana and the greater Boston metropolitan area, no one's ever said those words. No. If they've ever seen Wilt Chamberlain or Michael Jordan or Oscar Robertson or a lot of other guys that are way fucking better than Larry Bird.
Or Sean Kemp.
Or,
much more fun to watch.
Fun to watch. Yeah. Fuck yeah. Bird's a better player than Sean Kemp. So? But fuck yeah. Oh, God, yeah. Way better.
I'd rather watch
Sean Kemp's not a fucking
I'd rather watch
MVP.
Detlef Schrempf than Larry Bird.
Shit. Schrempf was like Bird without that you can see. Yeah, that's how it's supposed to work. Like that. Stand still and shoot. Stand there.
Better from right there in the corner. Just do that.
Yeah, look at Chris Mullin. Be him.
Flats off and everything.
Yeah, so anyway, he says that he knows they're going to hate him up in Boston now, and he said, quote, but that's not a town I visit much on my own anyway. They can do whatever they want to me up there next year as long as they don't kill me. Okay. So that's fair. He'll take his lumps. So 87-88 with Detroit. This is when they start their little run here under Chuck Daly, of course, and this is in the playoffs, regular season 54-28, playoffs they beat the Bullets 3-2 when the Bullets were still a team. They beat the Bulls 4-1 when they were still frustrating. I think that was the first year they had Pippen.
Was it?
Yeah, I think that was Pippen's first year with the Bulls. So they still hadn't put it all together yet. Jordan was still in his third year. Then they beat the Celtics in 6 games in the Eastern Conference Finals, and then they go all the way to the finals to face the Lakers.
Oh boy!
And this was a big showdown here. This was like the gritty elbow in the face to the finesse Showtime Lakers.
Oh boy, were they good!
This was exact opposite, heads bumping, and it goes all 7 games.
No kidding.
Absolutely. And the Lakers win this one. I think this is the last of their Showtime run. And then they went in the shitter for a while, and it wasn't great.
Magic had AIDS.
Magic got AIDS. And
James Worthy was too old.
He still doesn't have AIDS.
No, he doesn't.
Magic.
He never got it.
Never will, damn it. He's too strong.
He is.
So he's Magic. So he's... If anything's magic, that is. So this year, he plays in all 82 games, Dennis does, starts 32 of them, averages 11.6 points a game, which, not too bad, half a block, 8.7 rebounds, 26.2 minutes a game, so still hasn't come into his own completely yet, but, he's working on it. His free throw, by the way, is terrible. He's like a 50% free throw shooter.
Yeah.
Not a good shooter, Dennis.
No.
Makes $160,000 for this year, and has a child.
Okay.
Has a daughter.
Yeah.
Named Alexis.
Yep.
With his later on wife. He's his girlfriend for a long time. They get married.
Is it Cherie or some shit like that?
No, this is Annie.
Oh,
Annie Bakes. He's married to several different women.
Yeah.
He's got all sorts of relationships, Dennis Rodman.
Annie is the first one.
Annie Bakes is her first, which sounds like an Etsy
shop.
an Etsy brownie shop. Yeah. They make. Can you get brownies on Etsy? I'm sure.
I imagine.
So 88-89 Pistons here. They're 63-19.
No kidding.
Fucking good. Yeah, they're a nasty team, man. Really, really nasty. And they sweep the Celtics in the first round this year. So this is when the Celtics were over. Celtics and Lakers. That was their last hurrah, and they knocked them both off. They lost to the Lakers, but knocked the Celtics off. And then they sweep the Bucks 4-0 here in a 7-game series. Then they beat the Bulls in six games. So again, frustrating Michael Jordan, making him hate the Pistons a little more,
giving him a reason.
And then a rematch with the Lakers in the finals this year. This time, Pistons sweep the Lakers.
My Christ,
4-0, and it's the Lakers are completely done, and now it's bad boy time. In Detroit. This time plays in 82 games again, averages 9 points a game, 9.4 rebounds a game. So he's getting there. His totals are going up every year, almost a whole block a game.
Every game of the season, he played it. That's amazing.
Every game he started, he only started 8.
Yeah.
So
he played in every one.
Oh yeah, he's like coming right off the bench. He's probably their 6th man, I would say, or something like that, 6th or 7th anyway. He makes $550,000.
Okay.
So that's not bad, and it's more money than he thought he was ever going to make.
Ever at the airport?
You could work your whole life as a night janitor at the airport, and you're not going to make $550,000.
Steal a lot of watches.
That's a lot. Yeah, you're going to have to supplement with a lot of gift shop watches there. So 89-90, 59-23 the Pistons are. This year, they sweep the Pacers in the first round. They beat the Knicks in 5 games in the second round. This time it goes 7 games with the Bulls, and they beat the Bulls again.
My word.
So this was like seething Michael Jordan, going home just staring at pictures of Isaiah Thomas on his wall. Fucking angry, I'm sure. And 4-1, they beat the Trailblazers and win the title again.
Okay.
So now he's a 2-time champion, and also Dennis is an all-star this year.
No shit.
He's 8.8 points a game, which is not terrible. 9.7 rebounds. So he's doing well. He's doing his thing. 10 points and basically almost 10 and 10.
Yeah.
And I think he's on as a reserve. And he is also, the thing with him though, why he's an all-star is because his defense is out fucking standing.
Yeah.
He is absolutely nasty with the rebounding and everything else. He is the NBA Defensive Player of the Year, as a matter of fact. So he's tough, and his stats don't do him justice.
No, they don't.
He's not. His coach, Chuck Daly, who, coached multiple champions, he says, quote, "There's never been a player like him. I love him. I'll endorse him anywhere. As a coach, you go to the wall for a guy like that. He'll win you 6 to 10 games a year without even scoring." So that says a lot about a guy. You don't hear coaches say shit like that.
No, you need that guy.
You need that guy. And he says that his success in rebounding comes from wanting it better than the other guy.
Yeah.
He says, quote, "I work my ass off, that's all. People ask, how do you dig a 50-foot hole? You dig. How do I get offensive rebounds? I go get the damn basketball." Yeah. That's it.
He also has a knack and an eye for knowing which way the ball's going to go.
He absolutely knows.
It is unbelievable.
Where it goes. He knows exactly where it's going to go.
He can watch the spin of the ball and where it's going to hit the rim, and he knows where that ball's going.
I bet if he played since he was a little kid, he would have been a great baseball player because he can pick up spin of a ball, and he's got great eye to be able to see, because he can see. You see him going already before the ball hits the rim. You see him cheating to where the ball's going to end up, which
it's incredible.
No one else is doing it but him.
It's just him.
That's
going
why that extra step is what gets him rebound, because he's not taller than everyone else.
Right.
He's not more athletic.
No,
he's just,
he can't jump higher. He just jumps the right direction,
and he tips it to himself.
Right.
He does that volleyball tip where he'll just keep doing it till he gets it. He'll dive into there's one of these where some girl got all her teeth knocked out because he dove in the front row after a ball and knee took her teeth out and shit.
Jesus.
So he's a crazy player. I saw him on Pros versus Joes. Remember that show?
Yes.
That show, if you don't know what it is, it's a show where they get professional athletes to play their games against regular dudes who think they're like hot shit, basically. So
the guy at the gym who thinks he's good.
It's amazing watching some of these guys.
Humbling a guy with a day job that should never play the sport.
Must be so, because Dennis Rodman, watching a guy play basketball against Dennis Rodman, it was a rebounding contest. And to watch Rodman just be like, once in a while he'd have to take 2 steps and then he'd tip the ball to himself twice. Be like, got that one. Okay, and just put it back real quick. All right, got that. I think I'm winning. It was the most pathetic thing I've ever seen, watching a normal human try to rebound on this guy. So I'm going to go ahead and say it now. He's a goddamn 2-time champion, NBA Defensive Player of the Year. Chuck Daly would endorse him anywhere.
Yeah.
Grace.
That's it.
That's grace, I think, for now. He's going to have more ups, but there's also some downs coming in here. 90-91 season, 50-32 with the old Pistons again. This year, they beat the Hawks in the first round with Dominique Wilkins and all those guys. Eastern Conference semifinals, it is a 6-game series they win against the Celtics, further knocking the Celtics down. Go to the Eastern Conference finals against the Bulls again, and the Bulls this time sweep them 4-0. So this was when the Bulls took over as the Eastern Conference force. It went from Boston to Detroit to Chicago. And this was, Dennis would later say, they were just frustrating as shit. For the first 2 or 3 games, they couldn't even figure out what the hell they were doing scheme-wise. Pippen was on his game. He said Jordan was on his game. Horace Grant was on his game. It was
that triangle offense is all
new. Tough. Yeah, it was really, they just didn't know
what the fuck is this?
What was going on. Dennis plays in all 82 games, starts 77 this year, which is great. 8.2 points, 12 and a half rebounds a game now this year.
Good Lord.
And 1 assist, which is funny.
That's hysterical.
Just 1 kick out. So apparently in the playoffs, one of the games, Game 4, the final game, Rodman pushed Scottie Pippen out of bounds and cut his chin open. He fell on something and cut his chin open, had to get a bunch of stitches, and he ends up being fined $5,000 for that.
Oh.
And NBA Director of Operations here said, quote, "We looked at the facts and made a judgment. We had our security people investigate, and we feel he was seriously contrite. The fine was for pushing Pippen." Mm-hmm. So,
Was that on the sideline near, like, the table, the scorer's table?
If I remember so, yeah. I believe so.
I see Pippen holding the ball and, like, wrestling it away from, and he just two-arm shoved him.
Something like that, yeah. Right. It was a clear shove. It was not even disguised. No. It was like, fuck this guy, we're getting swept.
Right.
I don't give a shit. Who cares?
Right.
We're getting swept anyway. He wrote a letter to address to Mr. Scottie Pippen and gave it to the media outlets. "Dear Scottie, I'm writing this letter to apologize to you for the incident that happened in Monday's game. You were a great player, and I'm glad you weren't hurt by the incident. It was merely one of frustration. I'm not the type of player of which I've been accused. The situation was one of those things that should not have happened. I'm ready and willing to accept any fines or consequences set by the league for my actions. I sincerely apologize to you, your teammates, and the entire Chicago Bulls organization. I also hope there are no hard feelings between you and your teammates and me. Good luck in the NBA Finals. It's a tough road ahead of you. Sincerely, Dennis Rodman."
I'm also rooting for the West.
Then I'm also not going to root for you. I'm also rooting against you.
I hope Utah kicks your ass. Who did they play that year?
92. Jesus, I don't. Portland, I think, again.
Probably.
Was it Bulls Blazers?
Probably.
I think Bulls Blazers was one. So, yeah, then Phil Jackson, they asked him, and he said, "We forgive him, but it won't be forgotten," that type of shit.
Certainly hard feelings.
And it won't, actually, because we'll bring it up later on.
Okay.
He made $880,000 that year, though, so
not bad.
Good for him. 91-92, the Pistons are not a championship team anymore. This year he starts 80 games, scores 9.8 a game, and rebounds 18.7 a game.
How do you do that?
Per game.
Double your points.
That's just 19 rebounds a game.
There's only like 30 in the game.
You're averaging that. Think about that. That's not just, hey, he had 19 rebounds one game. What an amazing game.
Right.
So that means a lot of games he's got like 26. Right. In some games he might have 13. Like that's a shitload of rebounds a game. It's so many. Leads the league, obviously.
And in the NBA, it's not like college where every other trip down the floor a ball is missed.
No.
It usually goes in the hoop, so there's not many misses.
The average field goal percentage is about 50%, because depending on the shots. Now it's less because they take longer shots more often now, but it used to be about 40 to 50% in the shooting. So
was it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I see, like 58?
Yeah. No, the first Shaq maybe, if you shoot from 3 feet away from the... But, I mean, even Steph Curry probably shoots 46% from the floor or some shit. I mean, he's probably higher.
He's a little better.
He's higher, but I mean, good shooters don't shoot.
He might shoot 46 from 3-point.
That's what I mean,
which
crazy. Is sick, actually.
That's disgusting.
Way too high from out there, I would say. But I mean, his field goal percentage, Dennis Rodman, because all of his are putbacks. Right. He's not taking many jumpers. His are 54% this year.
Oh, that's not,
this season.
And that's good.
And that's good for him. Yeah. He's once again the defensive player of the year and an all-star.
No shit.
So he's fucking styling. Yeah. He's doing very, very well. He makes $1,075,000 this year as well. So not too bad.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
For a guy that just started playing basketball at 22.
Like 5 years ago. not bad at all. 92-93, he said that this was a terrible season for him. They fired Chuck Daly.
Yeah.
Got rid of Chuck Daly.
Who'd they bring in?
I don't remember who they brought in.
Was it that little fucker from the 76ers?
I don't remember.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do. I don't remember who. No, it wasn't him.
No.
Shit.
Brown? I think that's his name.
No, he didn't coach Detroit then.
No?
Because that was later.
Okay.
That was like Grant Hill years.
Oh, okay.
When he was there, Larry Brown, I believe. Because then he was in Philly, and Larry Brown's been everywhere. Christ almighty. But anyway, I think he was there those years, I'm thinking, the 90s years. But then we're not going to get into it. It's a rabbit hole we're not going to do, and no one cares.
It's not changing anything.
So it's at this point, and sometime in 92, he got married to his longtime girlfriend that he's having kids with.
Charisse.
And Charisse. Annie Charisse. And this ends up breaking up in 93 as well. So he's just not happy. He says he wants to spend more time with his daughter, and he wasn't happy about the whole thing. So for a while here, he's hurt, at one point in the season. He's injured, so he basically locks himself in his house and doesn't answer the phone, doesn't go to practices, doesn't go to games, only goes out in the middle of the night to get food or to work out.
Okay.
That's it. That's what he's doing. At one point, he tells people keep calling him, so he keeps changing his phone number, and at one point tells the phone company not to tell him what the number is so he can't give it out. So just give me a phone number. I don't give a fuck what it is. Don't tell me what it is. Just
who do you want us to give it to, Keith?
Nobody. Nobody. Just I'll call out, and then no one can call me unless they have caller ID, and then the whole thing's down the drain.
Then I'll call you back.
Damn it. Shit. He only plays in 62 games this year. Now, this is a down season for him where he's sad. 7.5 points, 18.3 rebounds a game.
My God.
Bonkers. That's just inconceivable. That's so crazy. So crazy. But he has a tough year, as we're going to talk about. February of 93, in mid-February, police get a call in the middle of the night from a friend of Dennis Rodman, and he says that, okay, it's a weird call, I know, but I'm a friend of Dennis Rodman, yes, the crazy guy from the Pistons, and he just left. He's super depressed, not in a good spot, and he just left home in his truck with his gun.
Yeah.
And I feel like he's not up to anything good. Okay. So maybe you just want to intervene and make sure he's not shooting himself, possibly.
Yeah.
So the police find Rodman eventually at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Where?
They find him in the Palace parking lot.
Oh,
Pistons,
where the Pistons play.
Yeah, he's in the parking lot.
At 5 a.m.
At 5 a.m.
Only one car.
Hanging out, just him. Yeah. Just his truck sitting there, hanging out. They talk to him. Hey, Dennis, how's it going? Fine.
Dennis, Keith, that you?
That's all. Yeah. Hey, Keith, is that you, Keith? Keith, is that you in there? Is that my stepdaddy? He said, Mom said just to call him Daddy. I said, don't have to call him Keith. So I'm going to call him Keith. He also has a rifle under his seat as well, which is not a good thing. He's not broken any laws. No. He's still have rifles legal. He's got, he's just he's not like trespassing. He's allowed to be there. It's his place of work.
That's where he works.
They don't mind. They're not going to press charges against him for sitting in the parking lot.
Weird that he brought a gun to work.
Little odd. He's having problems. So the Pistons public relations man drives him to a psychiatrist about an hour later. He said, let's go sort this out, Dennis. And he said he gets a call on his car phone. This is the PR guy from his own mother, and saying, quote, that she heard on the radio what happened and that this guy was going to talk, and he had told his mother, I'm going to pick up Dennis Rodman, and then she heard what happened with a gun.
Got it.
So this lady called her son on the car phone and said, are you okay? Did Dennis Rodman shoot you? So she thought she was shot by her son was shot by Dennis Rodman.
That's pretty awesome.
That's what she interpreted from the news report.
Is that you? Are you shot?
Are you shot? Did Dennis Rodman shoot you? It's like, Ronald, are you okay? Did O.J. Simpson stab you in the throat? Did he? No? Yes? I don't know how I knew that. It's amazing, isn't it?
Gurgle twice.
Very weird.
True.
Did Dennis Rodman shoot you? Gurgle. Okay. So, all right, once. Fine. So they asked Rodman, hey, why'd you have a rifle? In the parking lot and all.
At work.
Just in a place where normally people aren't armed. Yeah. He said, quote, why was the rifle there? It's always there. I was depressed, but I wasn't going to kill myself. I was just hurting, ripped to shreds. You butt heads with reality, and it's like having a stroke. I didn't lose touch with reality, but I put it on pause. He was just having a weird fucking day.
Yeah.
And there's another gun thing here where he is he's often suicidally-ish.
Yeah.
Like-ish. He's
I know,
not.
I know the feeling.
Yeah. There's another time. Does everyone know who Craig Sager is?
Yeah.
Craig Sager is
the guy with the silly suits.
Yes. He was a sportscaster, wore like the crazy 70s suits in like 2014.
Fucking awesome.
Great guy, and he died of cancer.
Yes.
And very, very sad. A beloved guy in the sports community.
Unbelievable sports. He's so good at it.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
Oblivious and
just a good guy.
To a point. Like
he's himself.
You almost think he did it on purpose sometimes.
Yeah. He's like if you were like a teenager and you went out with a chick and you went to her house and her dad was really cool.
Yeah.
Like, your dad's a fucking riot.
That
This
guy
guy's
is amazing.
funny as shit. He's just a weird, wears crazy clothes. He seems real friendly. What a weird
I'm
guy.
going to break up with your daughter, but can we still be friends?
Can we still like maybe go golfing or something? I don't golf, but you look like
I know
you
I'm
golf with that
17.
sport coat.
Do you have beers in
You
the
could
fridge?
teach me. Go out in the garage and crack a couple? Come on.
I'm in.
Let's do it. So apparently this is during this period of Rodman being AWOL in 1993. Sager tracked him down, it says here, in a Detroit strip club on the second floor.
Uh-huh.
You don't go on the
You were
second.
digging deep, Sager.
Second floor of a Detroit strip club? That is like hitting the main vein. You got to really, it's not just scooping it in with a pan right there in the riverbed. You got to chip away at the mountain for that
That's
shit.
not opening the door, peeking in, and then going, he's not here.
Want to guess the strip club name?
No.
You always enjoyed guessing strip club name.
Is it like...
it's a basic one. Completely basic.
The candy cane?
No, close though. Something like
the
that.
The dollhouse.
The landing strip.
Oh, Jesus.
Perfect, right?
That is fantastic.
It's you knew it was going to be.
Craig Sager's at the landing strip?
I don't know if he's looking for Dennis Rodman or what here.
Or if he just happened to be
He's just
there
like,
too.
I like black tail. Where can I find some black? Oh, the landing strip? All right.
You're damn right this suit
bet.
has candy canes on it.
Next thing you know, he's up there and he's like, oh, Dennis Rodman, I'm sorry, I didn't see you.
I was looking for you, actually.
I was looking for you,
here
actually.
for you.
Hold on, one moment. One moment, please. Ladies, I'll get with you in a minute.
Velvet.
Yes,
Yay,
please.
calm
Jesus.
down.
Good Lord.
Craig Sager getting a lap dance in a candy cane suit.
Ebony, I said one more moment, please. You tell Onyx to go in the... I will be there.
Yes.
Please. No, here's an extra 20 to wait for me. That would no more... No, the dances till I get back. Please, Jesus, don't waste it. Don't waste it, honey. You know how I get.
Don't get too sweaty. You'll ruin my suit.
Dennis. He's wearing a fucking Tampa Bay Buccaneer tangerine jacket while it's happening.
So much fucking colors.
So apparently Dennis was up there suicidal. That is not the place to kill yourself, by the way.
That is a place where you only smile, by the way.
Well, but he saw the sadness in it, I feel.
Yeah.
And Craig's... I feel like this. Well, Dennis Rodman
Where
did.
I feel like I'm depressed. Where can I go where people will be depressed
Where
with
people
me?
are sadder than me. He said, Craig Sager says, quote, he had the gun. He was going to do it. I told him how stupid that would be. Yeah. And then he didn't do it. And he fully credits Craig Sager with saving his life. As a matter of fact, he says it over the years. And then when Craig Sager dies, he tweets out, Dennis Rodman tweets out, quote, Craig Sager, thanks for saving my life when I was in dire need of help in Detroit back in 1993. Condolences to your family. R.I.P., my friend. Yeah. So he fully publicly, from then on in his books, everything said, Craig fucking Sager saved my life. If not for Craig Sager having, jungle fever, we would not be in this situation. If Craig Sager
and show up to that strip club in that stupid suit.
If he didn't like the way a line of cocaine looked
on a black thigh
on a dark-skinned girl's ass, then none of this shit would happen, is what he said.
You never would have seen the Rodman that I turned into.
Never, goddammit.
Because at this point, he was still just the guy from Detroit. He wasn't crazy yet.
No,
he
this
didn't
was
look interesting.
The borderline when he's starting to do that.
Tattoo.
Now, a former wife of his here said, this is Annie here. Yeah. She says that he's overly sensitive, and she says that he grows angry, or she gets angry when she sees what a spectacle he's becoming of himself. At one point, she says, quote, he has a tattoo of his child on his forearm, but he sent her nothing for Christmas. He didn't call on her birthday. He missed her first day of kindergarten. When she had chicken pox this summer, it took us 3 days just to find him. Sure, he lost $35,000 in Vegas on purpose, but why doesn't he just set up a trust fund for Alexis instead? Have you seen the tattoo he has that says Linda, one of his girlfriends? Talk about a knife in my heart.
Oh, my word.
So, yeah, that's... she goes off on him about because this isn't an article where he was at a casino losing money because he felt like losing money.
Having fun losing money.
He was literally losing money, and he said he was doing it on purpose because it makes him, he said he hates money. He likes to lose. It makes him feel normal. All that winning.
She's right.
Yeah.
Put that in a trust fund for your daughter. Don't give it to her. No. Don't give it to Annie. You don't want her to have it.
No, put it in a trust. Yeah. That's the thing. You don't have to. Set up a trust that only your daughter can get to. She's 30 years old or some shit. But, yeah. Then Annie says, quote, this last summer when he came to see me, he seemed suicidal. He came here looking like a transient. He was in old clothes. He'd lost about 15 pounds. He couldn't sleep. He had a designer design a $25,000 wedding dress for me, but he'd just been in Vegas with his girlfriend. Whatever Dennis Rodman can't have, he wants.
What the fuck?
So that's when they got married. He was basically already fucking around before they got, because they'd been together for like 7 years. But yeah, he says about the whole thing, quote, with the situation with me and my wife, I never really paid enough attention because I was too involved with my job. I knew in the back of my mind that she and my child were the most important things, but I never really showed it. I was out of balance, I would say. That year, though, he made $2.35 million playing basketball.
Yeah,
so
35 grand ain't nothing.
Not too shabby. Yeah. Now he's got side businesses too. He's got a Rodman Excavation Inc. in Frisco, Texas.
What? He's got a fucking digging company?
He's got digging companies. I don't know. And this article was basically trying to find Dennis Rodman when they finally found him in a casino, losing $35,000. And they were asked, so they went to his excavation company, said, have you seen Dennis Rodman? Yeah. And they said, quote, we don't know where he is. No one knows. We haven't seen him in 4 weeks, is at this point here. Another, the guy who took him to the psychiatrist, the PR man whose mother worried he was shot by Dennis Rodman, said, quote, I'm on the Rodman hunt too. Rumor is he's in Sacramento, but there's also a theory he's in Denver. Somebody told me he'd come back to Detroit, but he's not here. There's still a for sale sign in front of his house in Bloomfield Hills, a Corvette without license plates parked in the drive. His phone is disconnected. We've also heard he's in Vegas. Somebody saw him there, staying at the Mirage. Supposedly he's got, what do you call those things? Dreadlocks.
That's hilarious. So, that's the whitest thing I've ever heard of a description of a black man. First,
Carmen Sandiego and Dennis Rodman.
This is the most real-life Carmen Sandiego thing ever. They're giving clues of things he likes.
Yeah. Somebody said this. I heard he might be in...
Heard he might be into blueberries.
Oh, my God. Have you ever played Carmen Sandiego and had her be in San Diego?
No.
You can't.
That's
the worst. Yeah.
Is that real?
I think it's real, yeah. Okay. I remember as a child yelling bullshit in a computer lab one time because it was somewhere where I didn't think and I got in trouble for it. And I want to say because that was she was in San Diego.
That's amazing.
Something, but I was like, bullshit! I was like in 5th grade and they were like, you will come to the office right now, young man. Fuck. So anyway, what do you call those things there? Dreadlocks. What do you call those things black people have on their heads?
You know, they don't wash and shit.
They're all dirty. What are those things?
When a black guy gets real dirty, what's that?
Oh, yeah, they roll around in the dirt and the mud and shit, and then their head looks all shitty. It looks like, what's that now? Dreadlocks. It's the whitest shit I've ever heard. Jesus Christ. Maybe he was styling them.
Right.
You don't know that.
Maybe he wanted those, you dummy.
Yeah. Now, this is so he's going kind of off the reservation. Isaiah Thomas said, quote, those first few years, he was the model Piston. On time, never complained, followed instructions. If any of us had known how to make him happy in the end, believe me, we would have done it. Yeah. So they're all like, we loved having him. He was a good guy. We don't know what the fuck happened. So they're wondering what's going to happen here in this upcoming season, 93-94, until October 1st, 1993, when the Pistons trade him with Isaiah Morris for a 1994 second-round draft pick, and they also to the Spurs for Sean Elliott, David Wood, and a pick later on. So he goes to the Spurs now, which was a really weird fit.
Sean Elliott, that's right, he did play for Detroit.
Yeah, he went and played for Detroit. Yeah, after that. Yeah, that was it. So this is a weird fit, him in San Antonio.
Yes.
San Antonio and him is weird.
Him and Greg Pop is not a good couple.
Strange. Yeah. He starts 51 games, plays in 79, 4.7 points, 17.3 rebounds. And that's with David Robinson standing next to him, who's no slouch in rebounds, and he's a 7-footer. Right. So, I mean, you're taking rebounds from him at that point. Yeah. He makes $2.45 million. Hell of a good deal here. Now, at the All-Star game, he's not an All-Star this year, but the All-Star game's on TV. Remember what a big deal the NBA All-Star game used to be?
So much fun.
Oh, God, the dunk contest.
Yeah.
You always watch the dunk contest and the three-point shooting contest, and it was so much fun.
It was fun. It was exciting, and there was cool shit happening.
You knew how,
and you knew every player, and they all had a different personality.
They were all huge stars, and it was a different thing than now. But during this TV broadcast, Madonna announces on TV, because she's there, they talk to Madonna. Now, by the way, people, we have a lot of younger listeners, so for the next minute and a half, you tune out if you want, or zone out for a second while we describe how famous Madonna was. Yeah. we can't begin to explain to you how famous Madonna was. Now you're like, is that older lady who sings like weird like dance song? Yes, that's her.
That's her.
With the sinewy arms. Yes, that's the one.
The girl trying to be young still.
The one with the, isn't she have a British accent, but she's from Detroit? That's the one.
And she wears a grill? Yeah, that's her.
Isn't she the Italian chick from Detroit who thinks she's British now? Yeah, that's the one. Okay.
Who claims New York?
Yeah, who claims New York? Okay.
Fuck.
So you have to understand, though, when she first came out in like 1984, 85, she was fucking enormous. She's
the largest.
I remember my aunt at that time was a teenager, and she went to see her in Madison Square Garden, and it was sold out, and she was like, "Oh my God," squeaking and couldn't wait to
everything.
Go. She was like fucking like now fucking like Lizzo, I guess, is usually popular like that with every chick that I've ever heard of.
I mean, she was Miley Cyrus.
Yeah, but bigger than that though. Yeah. She was a big she wasn't a kid thing. She was a fucking
she was everybody thing.
Yeah. And then like later on, by the time 93 came around, 94, she was like this established, like now she's like at this point she was like Beyonce is now.
Yeah, because
like,
she's moving into movies.
Like this is, doing movies, doing giant, huge stage shows, and like, it's a spectacle, and, it's a big deal when she goes on tour. Everybody goes, holy shit, she's going to have this. And that's what she is. She's like, it's like Beyonce is at the All-Star game right now saying on TV something. So that's just to give you an idea of how famous she was at that point. She said she wanted to meet Dennis Rodman on TV. And so they had their, people try to arrange a meeting between them. I guess 3 weeks later, Rodman flew down to Miami and on his day off and started hooking up with Madonna there. Yeah. So he said that, right away, he was sleeping with her right away and everything because they're adults. What the fuck are they going to do? I like you. Okay, let's go out to dinner.
Take them off.
I'll walk you home.
Yeah.
No, that's not going to. They're adults. So he said they could, Madonna, they felt like soulmates, he said later on. He said like they could do whatever they wanted in life and get away with it. Because they were the richest, famous couple there was. She could have killed him and got away with it like OJ probably. Yeah. He's not famous enough to kill her probably. But she could have killed him. She was in movies. You have to have 3 movies plus an athletic career before you can get away with killing people. He's got to know that. Right. And they have to be like good movies. It can't be like Double Team, like we'll talk about later with Dennis Rodman. It's got to be good. He said the sex wasn't wild and crazy or kinky or anything like that. He said
that makes sense.
He said it was just entertaining. Quote, she wasn't an acrobat, but she wasn't a dead fish either.
Okay.
So I don't know if anybody's ever...
She was decent.
Apparently. I don't know what he was like. I'm not sure.
I guess he's an acrobat.
Now, he does say that she wanted him to father her child, which makes sense because later on she was looking for anybody. But who wants to impregnate
Somebody make one with me.
It was like a game. Nowadays, if that was now, she would have had a reality show. Who wants to impregnate Madonna? And it would be a fucking... It's too bad that was ahead of her time.
The prize is getting child support from her.
MTV would have really missed out. Yeah, she like puts you up in a house somewhere and you get like a salary or some shit. You get to see the kid once a month for like 5 minutes while her minions supervise. Right. She said, and would never let him use a condom based on that because she wanted a kid. She said that he didn't like her music. He said it all and he told her so, and he wouldn't. He wouldn't call. He would call her nicknames. He didn't want to call her Madonna.
What do you call her?
Even though that's her real name.
Is that really?
Her first name is Madonna.
She really made it Madonna.
Yeah, her last name is like fucking her real name.
No,
her birth name
is Madonna.
I think it's Madonna.
No, I don't think
that's her first fucking name.
I don't think so.
I thought it was.
I don't
might
think
not
so.
be. Maybe not.
I think it's
I know
like,
she's got a Guinea last name.
Yeah,
I
think it's like Maria.
Maybe. I
bet it is.
Know. How about that?
I'll bet it's Maria.
Maybe. He said that he thought they were a perfect match, and he said that, he just thought that, he said, quote, I still think of myself as this guy who had to claw my way up from a job as a janitor to get anything in life. So to be making a decision on how serious to get with Madonna was more than I could handle. That's probably fair.
Yeah.
He said Madonna talked all the time about having a baby. I think she wanted every bit of Dennis Rodman, marriage, kids, everything.
Yeah.
That's what he says.
That's her real name, James.
That's what I thought.
That's fucking amazing.
That's what I mean. Madonna and something Italian.
Louise Ciccione.
Ciccione. Ciccione, yeah. So there you go. Nice British accent.
Wow.
Yeah. No.
I didn't know that was a real name.
Detroit accent.
Yeah.
Put some Guinea on it. No.
Rub some Guinea in there.
Little fucking stank of some Guinea on it. Now, 1994, his first book comes out, Rebound, the Dennis Rodman story.
Hell yeah.
This is his first foray into authorship here. 94-95, plays for the Spurs again. Only plays in 49 games that year. We'll talk about why. Averages 16.8 rebounds a game, though. Not too shabby. March 19th, 1995, he separates his shoulder in a motorcycle accident.
Idiot.
Which would cause him to miss pretty much.
Why would you get on a motorcycle when your body's that fucking valuable?
Do that much stupid shit to hurt yourself?
Yeah,
to go slow. Be careful.
Yeah.
Makes $2.5 million for his stupidity, though, so that's not bad here. Now, here's a thing here. June 28th, 1995, a Lisa Beth Judd, who at the time was 24 years old, sues him here. She claims that she had an on and off relationship with Dennis since April of 91. And, Jesus Christ. She said that she kept a memento box filled with souvenirs of her time with Dennis Rodman. She said he romanced her, gave her cards and roses and herpes.
Oh,
so he's suing her for it.
She's suing him.
She's suing him for it. She says he gave her herpes on January 14th, 1993, when he was in Atlanta. She said he was sweet, he was a gentleman, he was a kind person. I just wish he wouldn't have, obviously, infected
he was sweet,
me.
He was gentle. My vagina has blisters.
It's a problem with now. I have an issue. There's a deposition shown to the jury. He had to go and sit in front of a video camera and talk about his herpes.
Real.
He said he tested negative for herpes in 1988, but was found to have herpes in March of 1993.
Oh, no.
So he's saying, I didn't know till March of 93. That's what he said in his deposition. She's saying I gave it to her January of 93. I didn't even fucking know I had it at that point.
There you go.
I didn't do it on purpose. So that goes on in court. So that's the type of shit that he starts cooking up.
Horrible.
Now it's downhill from here. 95-96, he's traded by the Spurs to the Bulls for Will Perdue. A big, dopey, doughy stiff.
Yeah.
Big, just a fucking stuck. He looked like he was walking in mud, Will Perdue.
They were just shipping the herpes out of town.
That's it.
He had herpes at this time and nobody knew.
No, well,
I didn't know.
I didn't care. I'm sure half the guys are fucking everything that moves, these athletes.
You think all the people in the NBA don't have herpes?
That's every
at that point?
MLB, NHL, they all do.
Yeah.
So,
you said MLB, not Mel B.
Not Mel B, no. Although, I don't know what the hell she's up to either. She could have it too. I don't know. So he's traded for Will Perdue, which is just a joke.
Trade. Yeah.
And he starts talking shit about San Antonio, and it's hilarious. He said San Antonio might be more of a basketball team if David Robinson didn't freeze up every time they play a big game. He says that quote, now I guess David thinks it's a basketball team again because he's got Will Perdue, which is a great thing. It's fucking hilarious. I guess Robinson had said that Rodman tried to turn the team into a zoo. That's what it was here. And Rodman said that Robinson, quote, couldn't stop shaking in the locker room before a game. He also talks much shit about Chuck Person, who Chuck Person was happy that Dennis was leaving. Yeah. And, he says that, Person, he says, as a player such as Person who treats defense so lightly and doesn't rebound, he's worthless. So that's what he said. Just anti-Rodman. He's just a shooter person. Yeah. He thinks Rodman thinks Will Perdue will make a perfect addition to the conservative white environment in San Antonio, he said. That was that. And they talked a lot about when he goes to the Bulls, he was praising Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen and also talking shit about Tony Kukoc. He said, quote, we'll cover up for Kukoc's mistakes, which is hilarious.
That's great.
That's hilarious. So now, before he joins the team, Phil Jackson asked him to apologize to Scottie Pippen for the incident.
Oh, for the chin.
That I'll never forget. We'll never forget, because now he's got to apologize fucking 4 years later.
Oh, I wrote you a letter. Isn't that enough?
Dude, a public letter. Rodman said he was a little pissed off about it, but he did it. It was just that's what Phil knew, how to balance his team.
Formality.
And he knew that Scotty needed that. Yeah. So if that helps, then whatever. It's one of those things. Okay. I think he went to him like, look, Scotty's a little fucking, he's a baby about the whole thing. Be the bigger man and go just apologize.
He's got Michael Jordan on the team. He'll never be the star of this. Could you just tell him sorry?
He's everybody's little brother. Right. You know how that goes. Just tell him sorry. He thinks he has anything going on. So 95-96, the Bulls have I think second best record in the history of basketball.
72-10.
72-10.
Yeah.
Absolutely just demolishing and running through people like they were nothing.
So good.
Like they were rice paper.
And those 10 weren't even like...
Oh, they were just here and there.
Yeah.
I think they lost a couple in the beginning of the year, too, like in the 3 out of the first 20 or some shit.
Didn't they run like the last 20 out anyway?
It's crazy how many games they won. But they go to the playoffs, and this Bulls team is stacked. Look them up if you don't know. It's absurd. Jordan, Pippen, Rodman. It's all
DJ
you really
Armstrong,
need to know. Randy Brown. It's
insane.
It's a crazy team here. So they go to the first round of the playoffs. They sweep the Heat 3-0. The Bulls do. They lose one game to the Knicks anyway. Yeah. The Knicks get one on them. It's a 5-game series there. God, that was frustrating to watch. Jesus Christ. Oh. No idea.
That whole 5-year period of basketball.
Oh,
it was the best basketball.
It was the best basketball.
And you even knew who the champion was going to be.
Oh, yeah, you could see.
And it was still fucking amazing.
You never know.
That's the difference between today. Like, today, you know the champion, who it's going to be. It's going to be one of 4 teams.
Then you knew there was going to be like 8 really tough teams at the end and spread across both conferences. And how would that work out?
How is that going to work out when the Bulls win?
The Bulls are going to have to play some good Eastern Conference teams, especially at this point, because this was when Orlando started to become something with Shaq and Penny.
Pacers,
and you had the Knicks coming up, and in the West it was like Jesus. There was a lot of good teams.
Those just good teams all over.
So they sweep the Heat, though 4-1 with the Knicks. They sweep the Magic 4-0. This was when the Magic were starting to become something, and then they go all the way to the NBA Finals versus the Sonics. So this was when we had Gary Payton, Sean Kemp, Schrempf, all these guys versus Jordan and Pippen and Rodman. This is like
X-Man there still?
I know he was gone by then.
Was he in New York by then?
Fuck, I think he was gone from there by then.
Probably in New Jersey.
Dude, he was. I don't even know if he was still
for the Expos.
I don't know if
then.
he was still the Royals. I think is where he was. I think he might not have been in the fucking league by then, to be honest with you. I'm not positive. Dennis played in 64 games that year, averaged 14.9 rebounds a game. He is suspended at one point, March 18th, 96, for 6 games and fined $20,000 for headbutting a referee. That is when he put his head on the referee. He didn't slam him.
That's right. And he kind of rolled it on him.
He kind of rolled it on him and then took his shirt off and threw it in the stands as he walked out. Yep. So that'll get you $20,000 fine and 6 games suspension.
Wow.
That's hefty in a basketball season. $2.5 million he makes that year.
Okay.
Still. He also has his own MTV reality talk show is what they call it, a reality talk show. This is kind of before reality shows. So it was called the Rodman World Tour. And he would go do stupid shit, basically.
Awful.
It was stupid. He appears in Baywatch as himself.
Yeah.
It's just Dennis Rodman walking along the beach.
Giving people herpes.
Everywhere. Hey, Pamela, I know you got the Hep C, but you want to add a little herp to that Hep C? Give you a little cocktail.
We'll give you the Herp C.
He'll give you the Herp C. It's a good one. Also releases 1996, Bad as I Wanna Be, the book here. And this was his big book. I believe this is the one where he wore a wedding dress to promote it.
Yeah.
He went everywhere in a wedding dress to promote it.
The cover was him laying on a court with the balls, right?
I'm not positive.
I think that's true.
Let's get some shit from this book that he says here. On Life, he says, quote, when I was 20, people would have crossed the street to get away from me. Now they're crowding around trying to get an autograph. I can see right through it. He says that, I think that's why I strive to make my life so difficult now. I'm not comfortable being comfortable.
No, Dennis.
Jesus.
They crossed the street when you were 20 because you were a fucking janitor at the airport.
Who stole things.
Right.
You were a felonious janitor.
You were a lunatic.
Yeah, you were just a huge janitor.
They want to talk to you because you're a fucking star, you idiot.
A star, and he says that he thinks he strives to make his life difficult and be uncomfortable because he grew up in a shitty environment. So now he wants to keep repeating that self, which is something that you have to fight yourself on. You do. You have to. Yeah. It's cyclical, and you have to go, I'm not doing that again, because you don't realize you're doing it. Right. You're like a ghost who keeps living the same day over and over, and you don't realize it. That's what you are here. Some fucked up.
That's hysterical.
Some fucked up post-mortem Groundhog Day.
That's funny because Emily sees me do things that I do over and over again, and she'll point out. She just goes, "You're doing it again."
It says he can't help it. It's that thing, man. I don't know what that is, dude. What is that?
It's just being fucking. It's trash. It's my trash cycle.
It doesn't help your. Like everything else in your body and everything else like in your mind is like evolutionarily makes sense. Yeah. That's the one thing that doesn't make sense. How does that help you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How does that make you in the world more resilient to anything more? It just hurts hurts you. It's a weird, fucked up thing.
It's just self-sabotage.
Yeah. He talks about in the book that he has a penchant for women's clothing and says that he, quote, feels like a total person when he's in a sequined halter top and carousing at a gay bar. He says he's not gay at all. He just likes to see how other people live, and he thinks it's interesting to watch people look at him, basically. Later on, when Bruce Jenner comes out as Caitlyn Jenner, he will then say, that motherfucker's lucky he didn't do that shit in the 90s because they'd have killed his ass, because you should have seen what they did to me, and I wasn't even like changing my name or anything. Right. I was just putting a wedding dress on and fucking promoting a book.
I wasn't on the cover of a fucking Wheaties box either.
Yeah. Well, he said he supported, Caitlyn Jenner's deal. He was like, totally support it and everything like that. He says his favorite color is pink. He has pink Harley Davidson and a pink pickup truck, and he doesn't give a shit what anybody says about it. He does say that, Jesus Christ, he says he isn't gay, but he does fantasize about making love to another man, which is odd.
What?
He said, I believe it's natural for your body to go and explore anything it wants. If it wants dick, sure. But if it doesn't want penis, then it shouldn't, probably.
I'm not gay, but I fantasize about it. What he said is, I haven't done it, but I think about it fucking all the time.
I mean, technically,
that's gay, isn't it?
I don't know. I think you probably have to act on it, I would imagine. I mean, you could say you're a chef, but you have to actually cook something. You can't just read a recipe.
I don't just sit around thinking about chefing.
You sit down and go, man, if I just made a steak right now, it'd be so good. I'd make potato. You actually have to do it first. Otherwise, you're hungry, not a chef.
That's a fascinating statement, though.
Yeah, he's just a dreamer, not gay. I don't know. If he wants to be gay, be gay. I don't care. Go fucking tag a dude if you feel like
Think about it all the time. Just can't do it.
Just not in the mood. So 96, 97, still with the Bulls. He plays in 55 games, starts 54 of them, 16.1 rebounds a game. This is insane. He's averaged over 16 rebounds a game for 5 straight years now. No, 6 straight years now. That's bonkers. That is absolutely crazy. January 97, he gets tangled up with a cameraman on the baseline and kicks him. Kicks him, ends up being in the leg and the groin. He took a couple of big kicks at him. It was unnecessary.
He swung on him hard.
He really it was unnecessary.
Was he was on the ground, right? And he just kind of threw his heel at him?
Yeah, I don't remember.
But they were big swings.
I don't remember if the cameraman was on the ground to begin with or if he ended up on the ground because Dennis Rodman fell in.
Dennis Rodman was on the ground,
They were both on the ground.
Yeah.
And when he was getting up, their legs were they were tangled up together because they fell in at full speed.
Yeah.
And he was like kicked him to get him off him, basically. Yeah. And it was like, holy shit. This was a guy named Eugene Amos. He kicked him in the groin in a win over the Timberwolves. And apparently this guy laid down on the baseline there for 7 minutes before being carried away on a stretcher and taken to the hospital. And his lawyer, Amos's lawyer, said, quote, he wants to say that it's not okay for Rodman to do that. If we were not on the streets, it would not be okay. You've got to call it what it is, and that's an assault. Which I guess. And Rodman said, quote, I was aiming at the camera because that's the first thing I saw, which is still not any better.
Can't do that either.
He said, I'm not going to try to hurt somebody to try to hurt them severely. I just tried to kick his camera out of the way. So the Amos guy filed a police complaint from the hospital. And, he said, quote, I feel hurt. I feel let down. I admired him. With everything, I just admired him. And Rodman and Phil Jackson both say that Amos is faking his injuries.
Yeah.
He says, quote, Jackson says, it looked like he kicked the guy in the knee and the guy suddenly got falsetto. So I love Phil Jackson. He's fucking hilarious.
This also was.
And then he exhaled his bong hit. That's what I love about Phil. This guy suddenly got falsetto. Those fucking people are crazy. I don't know.
This is also the time of the frivolous lawsuit.
Oh, yeah. Well,
and everybody was suing anybody with anything.
He gets sued so much
he
here.
Does.
Rodman suspended 11 games and fined $25,000, but that's also 11 games is an eighth of his fucking year.
Right.
So more than that. So he's going to lose over $1 million out of that too in game checks. And Jesus Christ. David Stern here said, until Dennis can provide meaningful assurances that he will conform his conduct on the playing court to acceptable standards, including not placing others at physical risk, his suspension will continue. Michael Jordan said, quote, I think we're all disappointed. I think Dennis is disappointed that he let the team down. It's just a fact that we have to move on. We can't sit here and belabor the point. No matter what we say or do, we're not going to change David Stern's point of view. So
Michael Jordan said belabored.
Yeah, Michael Jordan's very fucking. He's a smart cat.
Yeah, but he was so boring.
He's boring as shit.
He never said anything that fucking mattered.
That sounded business though. He's like, this is a business statement.
Yeah.
Listen, belabored. Okay. Yeah, I graduated North Carolina. Thank you. Yeah, I went back. So, Jesus Christ. I think he went back.
I imagine
Either way, he's pretty goddamn smart.
Yeah.
He was the guy that went, no. Don't pay me for endorsements and money. Pay me in stock.
Right.
Smart to say to Gatorade
forever.
And Hanes and shit like that. Yeah, no. I only get paid in stock. Right. Thank you. Because he didn't need the cash.
Cash doesn't grow like stocks do.
Oh, dude, how smart is that? Jesus Christ, that's brilliant. So most people are not that forward thinking. So very, very smart.
That's why he owns a basketball team.
Yeah, no shit. So now it's at this point later on here, Dennis ends up paying the guy $200,000 for his injuries. Okay. Now, a little bit later on, this Amos guy has a domestic assault charge filed against him. They find out that he had one filed against him the day before Rodman kicked him in the balls.
Get the fuck out of here.
The day before. So now Rodman's pissed off.
Yeah.
He says, quote, I paid the guy $200,000 because I kicked him, and I turn around and he's been to jail for beating his girlfriend. What would be a bigger story? Me beating my wife or girlfriend, or me kicking a photographer? You make the call. I think he should give the money to charity or come and shake my hand and apologize to me for taking my $200,000. How about to the lady he beat up? Let's start there.
He should give it to her.
Never mind you, Dennis. So his salary was $9 million that year, but minus suspensions and fines from the team and everything else.
$60.
Yeah. And they said they used Phil Jackson as one of those different rules for different players coaches, which in the NBA kind of have to have that. These authoritarian one rule for everybody guys don't really, they all have to, it's a different, there's only 12 guys, so you can treat people personally.
Sure.
The football team, there's 53 guys. You can't treat everybody personally.
Everybody's got to follow the same rules.
You got like 5 stars. They can do what they want. Everybody else has to shut the fuck up and follow the same rules, period. Whereas in basketball, Dennis Rodman's a little late to practice. We're not going to fine him every time because who cares?
Where was he? Trying on wedding dresses?
Well, one of his teammates said he would like get to practice when he was with the Pistons, and Dennis would be in his truck outside, like right when practice was starting. This guy'd get there right on time, and he'd be running in there going, Dennis, what are you doing? And Dennis go, listening to Pearl Jam. And he'd roll his window back up. He was doing it on purpose to show that he could.
Like he can do whatever he wants.
That I will be 15 minutes late if I want. He's just a contrary cat.
Which CD's not over.
Yeah, I get it. So 97, he stars in a movie called Double Team with Jean-Claude Van Damme, which is more embarrassing than anything else he's ever done.
And this was because his hair was bright fucking green.
It was
and he was
yellow, I think, on the cover, or white on the cover.
I remember it being green.
Maybe.
It could be wrong.
It's a piece of shit.
It's a bad movie.
It's bad.
I saw it.
An international spy teams up with an arms dealer to escape from a penal colony. Yeah. So that tells you a lot right there. And rescue his family from a terrorist. I'm sorry. Not enough to just escape from the penal colony. Then you have to rescue your family from a terrorist. Obviously.
I watched it.
Fucking duh.
That's how you know it's bad.
Also, another book in 97.
Yeah.
Jesus, he's like Stephen King, man. He just pumps them out every year.
What's this one called?
Walk on the Wild Side.
Yeah.
Here. He also goes to the Oscars with Vivica A. Fox this year.
No kidding.
Yeah, he went as her date. He went dressed like a I don't even know how to describe it. I don't know.
A bride?
No, he had like weird makeup on. He looked like he was in like
a drag queen.
Did he
have a big hat on?
He looked like he was in Amadeus. That's what he looked like. He looked like he was like from the Mozart era.
Really?
It was really weird. Yeah. But anyway, he went there. Okay. 97, 98 with the Bulls. By the way, they're winning the title every year
Oscar
here.
That year for Double Take.
He actually went. Yeah, he went to support Jean-Claude Van Damme, accept his best actor award for it, obviously. So, Jesus Christ. 97, 98, this was the year where they pummeled the Jazz in this finals, I believe. Yeah. Here, this was 4.7 points, 15 rebounds a game, still killing it. He played in 80 games, made $4.5 million. February of 1998, I need to see this so fucking bad. I have a thing with bad biopics.
Yeah.
I love a bad, like a VH1 biopic movie. Yeah. Oh my God. You give me Def Leppard hysteria, I will watch it 100 times because I have. The Meatloaf one, the fucking MC Hammer one.
This is bad.
Oh God, the Monkees, give it to me, VH1. I love a bad. This was the era of this. These bad fucking they're made cheap and they're fucking bad, man. They're just rank. And I love them, and I can't get enough of like.
Are they just humiliating?
Oh, they're so bad, dude. The MC Hammer one was so bad when they were showing.
It's so easy to humiliate that guy.
Well, not even that. When they were showing him as a kid, being like a ball boy for the A's and shit, like they were just showing the dugout, and they'd just be like. Like terrible sounds, and like shadows would go by the dugout, but you could tell it was just a dugout set with nothing attached to it. You just see a shadow go by, like those were the players out there. It was the funniest fucking thing ever. It's so bad. When they do like the concert scenes, there's like 12 people up front crammed in, and that's all they show from like 9 different angles, and they're all partying. It's fucking amazing. You seriously.
Because they don't have the footage from the concerts?
No, they're not allowed to use it.
Right.
They're faking it. Yeah, they're showing a fake concert.
So good.
Rather than they should have just used stock footage from some shit from. This is from AC/DC in '79. Who cares? Just put it in there. It's just dudes.
Just pretend it's
horns up, banging their heads to MC Hammer. Fuck yeah! Too legit, motherfucker. Rock on. Jesus
so good.
Christ. So, it's called Bad as I Want to Be, the Dennis Rodman story. Yeah. And the cover of it is the guy playing Dennis Rodman, who, by the way, looks nothing like right. Looks like Maysack Taylor, the guy from Designing Women. That's what he looks like. But like a younger version.
Yeah, with the fucking weird glasses.
Yeah. Him, and then it shows like him like a normal face, and then like him with like makeup on, and it's bad as, the two sides. It's so bad. 1998, he gets hooked up with wrestling. Okay. Get into this quickly. Yeah. Wrestling. WCW he ends up in, which was the defunct company that ends up going out of business in 2001.
Right.
At this point, though, they were still doing well.
Yeah.
And this is when they started to tank. This was their grace. Their grace was the end of 97, but this is still in that peak period. Dennis Rodman comes in. Not only did WCW want him, WWF at the time, now E, they were also offering him big money to come in.
How did they even know he wanted it?
Because he's a spectacle. Okay. That was when WWE brought in Mike Tyson and they were just looking for spectacles to bring in.
Yeah.
And WCW had brought in Karl Malone on one side to be a Diamond Dallas Page's partner.
Jesus.
Because Diamond Dallas Page I saw an interview with him. He went to a Jazz game. He went to a game, I think in Atlanta, where he lived, went to a game. Karl Malone saw him in the crowd and made the Diamond Cutter sign at him and pointed at him, and he was like, "Oh, you're fucking Karl Malone. Holy shit." And
you're going to wrestle, sir.
They ended up hooking up, and Karl Malone's a big wrestling fan, and he said, "Fuck, dude, because Karl Malone's jacked.
Yeah.
He's a big guy. He's like, dude, I'll show you how to do this. You can, we'll get you in here and make you $1 million." And
they looked great back then too.
Yeah, he looked great. And then Dennis Rodman, they said, we'll get him as the bad guy to be Hulk Hogan's partner.
There you go.
And that's what they did. He was the NWO guy, Dennis Rodman. Okay. He comes in. Basically, I can't remember the exact numbers because I read them years ago, but Dennis, basically, WWE offered him like $1 million for 2 appearances. So WCW offered him $2 million for 3 appearances.
Okay.
Or some crazy. It was something in those ballpark figures,
competitive,
right? Yeah. Competitive. So he goes to WCW, a little more money. He blows off a Bulls practice to go to a Monday Nitro, which he's supposed to be at practice, and he's on live television doing some other athletic endeavor, which he's not contracted for by them.
That it can get you hurt.
Not happy they are at all. He's not fighting at this point, but still not happy. So then later on, by the way, we'll talk about his pay-per-view for a minute, but he ends up not showing up for one of the things, blowing off one of the appearances, one of the Nitro appearances, ends up suing WCW somehow for money they didn't pay him, even though they gave him like $2 million to not even do all the things he was contracted to do.
Right.
WCW was so stupid, the reason why they're out of business, rather than tell him to go fuck himself, instead of doing that, they end up signing him to another deal and gave him more money for another few appearances.
Jesus,
that was the deal, how stupid they are. Another like $1.5 million or some crazy shit.
Oh, God, let's make names so that we can go do this.
Yeah. So it's insane.
Yeah.
So in the first battle he had here, it's him and Hulk Hogan versus Diamond Dallas Page and Karl Malone.
Yeah.
He actually didn't look terrible.
No.
He didn't. I mean, he's too skinny compared to the rest of the guys. Malone's jacked. Hogan's 300 pounds, 280. And, DDP's a 250-pound strong-looking guy, too.
Yeah.
Rodman looked real skinny out there.
Sure.
But, like, they had him do an arm drag, and they were like, oh, look at it. Like, he did fucking day 2 of training school. Holy shit. Did he learn how to take a back bump yet? We'll find out. Can he hit the ropes? Like, he did an arm drag. Okay, that's move one.
Yeah.
And so they made a big deal out of it, I remember. And oh my goodness, he's been training with the best and he's so good and all this shit. And he looked like shit the rest of the match, whatever. Then the next one they did was him and Hulk Hogan versus Diamond Dallas Page and Jay Leno.
Oh boy.
Which is the most embarrassing thing ever put on television.
Jesus.
Ever in the history of the earth.
They've done that.
Jay Leno in a fucking ring with warm-up pants and a t-shirt on, fucking fighting Hulk Hogan.
Wow.
Physically.
Yeesh.
Out there. Got Hulk Hogan in an arm bar. And Hulk Hogan was down on the ground acting like he was hurt.
They're lucky they got him out of his denim suit.
He said, can I wear denim? They're like, Jay, it's really weird to wear a denim shirt while you wrestle. It's strange.
The pants, we get it.
We get it, but just wear some warm-ups. And, it was pathetic. And Dennis Rodman was out of it. Apparently, he showed up at the last minute, kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
And basically looked like he was falling asleep on the ropes on the side while he was waiting to get tagged in.
The best.
It was a fucking disaster. Yeah. He was a mess. And
they've done that. They may as well. I implore the WWE to get James and Aaron Mankey to fight. That's what I want to see. I want to see you and.
I don't know anything about him. Why would I fight him?
We don't even care.
It's
just a podcast.
Another. Okay, you just picked a. I was like, why? Why do we hate him? I don't even know him. Do we know him? I was like, did he do something to us?
No.
Which one is he?
Lord?
Okay, yeah. I don't know that fucking guy. I don't know anything he does.
Guess, I think. Or I don't care, any of them.
I'm sure he's a nice guy.
Anybody?
Seems like a nice guy.
I'll go against any of the guys on last podcast.
That's right. Ben Kissel's like 6'7".
Is he? I'll wrestle him.
6'7", 3 bills. I think he'll kill you.
I'll bite his fucking ankles.
He's kind of a pussy, though. I'm just kidding. Sorry, Ben Kissel. They're nice guys, I'm sure.
I just want to see.
They seem like nice guys anyway.
There's so many podcasts that are geared towards wrestling. I'll bet somebody's got to pick this up.
A lot of them have wrestlers on them, and you don't want to fight them.
No.
I don't think you want to fight Colt Cabana.
No.
We met him.
No.
He's pretty strong.
He looks it. Yeah. He's not very tall.
No, but he's pretty strong.
But he can whip my ass, I guarantee
it. He'd just break you. I wouldn't want to fight him. I'll fight Bruce Pritchard.
Yeah? Is he elderly?
He's like 60 and overweight. Something to wrestle. We've referenced their show because we've done a bunch of stuff about wrestlers, and so funny show. Him or Conrad. I'll take you down, Conrad, too. God damn it. He's an overweight mortgage broker. I'll fight him right now, damn it. I'll tell you, he's a nice guy, too. So anyway.
There's so many. I'd love to watch podcast wrestling.
That would be hilarious.
Podcast Wrestling Federation.
Podcast deathmatch, like claymation style. Yeah, let's do it. That I like. I would watch that.
Yeah, I don't have to get hurt.
Yeah.
Nobody has to do anything.
Me and you, double teaming people. Somebody distract them. Somebody else comes, hits them with a chair in the back, and fucking. That's
throw
what it would
be. Throw a metal fan.
You know how it goes. All sorts of. Throw whoever through this and.
Throw somebody through a wood chipper.
Yeah, you know how it goes.
It's claymation. It's claymation. Fantastic.
So, speaking of claymation, Dennis Rodman's in more movies.
No kidding.
A TV show. He appears in 17 episodes of Soldier of Fortune, Inc.
The fuck is that?
Never heard of it, but it ran for at least 17 episodes that he was in. He played Deke Reynolds.
Okay.
That was back when these shows would be just syndicated shows, where they would just they'd make like 30 of them and sell them off to syndication.
Put them on TV.
Yeah. April 19th, 1998, a Las Vegas casino worker here, a woman named Dixie Johnson, claims that Rodman sexually assaulted her by grabbing one of her breasts in a casino. She's seeking compensatory damages of $300,000 and punitive damages of $3 million.
Well,
that's a lot of boob grabbing.
Titty.
Wow. Ma'am,
I mean, look,
ma'am,
you can't go around grabbing them. But
no, but
that's a steep
it
price
must be
to
spectacular.
pay. Yeah, I'd like to see those.
Wow, Jesus. So Craig Sager's front row, huh? He's waving money around. Now, in another lawsuit filed against him, because there's multiple lawsuits here. This is when lawsuits start to come. A James Brasic, who's a craps dealer at the Mirage. He's seeking $300,000 in compensatory and punitive damages. He claims Rodman humiliated him by rubbing his bald head, stomach, and groin with dice before rolling them. He said, I'll rub it on you for luck.
That's ridiculous.
He's a drunken dick, but it's not worth $300,000.
You said rubbing his ball. I thought you were going to say he pulled his balls out and rubbing it on people.
The casino should give you an extra day of PTO.
Yeah.
That's what it should be like. Yeah, that was kind of fucked. Yeah, you were embarrassed. You know what? Tell you what. you get an extra day of PTO for putting up with that asshole.
How many times have people rubbed his bald head for luck, though?
That's what I mean.
Do you know what I mean?
Rubbed
That's a common thing.
With dice.
Yeah.
He rubbed his balls, though. He rubbed his groin. I don't know. That's not normal.
Oh, it was his balls.
It was his head, stomach, and groin.
Oh, okay. I missed that.
Still, it's I don't know. You're a guy. Get over it.
Who gives a shit?
You know what I mean? I don't
Come
know.
on,
Whatever.
dude.
So,
step it up.
I feel like if it was just some fucking drunk guy from Ohio who came in for the weekend, I don't think there'd be a lawsuit involved. He'd get tossed out of the Mirage, and that's the end of it.
He has leopard spots fucking dyed into his hair. What are you expecting from him?
And not to mention a federal lawsuit filed. A woman named Connie Wilcox. Connie Wilcox claims that he sexually assaulted her at the Las Vegas Hilton by grabbing her sides near her breasts and lifting her up. She is a Hilton employee. She says the action caused the underwire of her bra to be pushed into her right breast, causing pain, discomfort, and bruising.
Yeah.
So she is seeking $1.5 million in compensatory damages, with $9 million in punitive damages.
Those are the most expensive boobs ever.
He didn't even grab her boobs.
No.
$10.5 million for picking her up like you pick up a child, which is not okay to do to adult women.
You can't do that either.
But $10.5 million?
Worth of not right?
Holy shit. Wow. If somebody beat me with a lead pipe in the street, I wouldn't think to sue him for $10.5 million.
That's a lot of money.
I'd be like, what, about $2 million do we get for that? That's I got my ass kicked, but millions of dollars are millions of dollars.
Picked me up and relocated me and my underwire broke?
Yeah, didn't break. It just pushed up into her and caused bruising.
Oh, for Pete's sake.
She said pushed into her right breast, causing pain, discomfort, and bruising, which those underwires suck, but not $10.5 million worth of suck.
I don't think.
That's a lot of suck. That's that's a huge amount of suck.
Yeah.
That's big. So November 14th, 1998, he marries Carmen Electra.
Yeah.
Where the fuck did that come from?
Yeah.
I'll now marry Carmen Electra. If you don't know who Carmen Electra is, it means that you're probably about 20 years old or less, because she disappeared off the face of the earth.
After Scary Movie?
Fucking vanished. Poof. Like it never happened.
Right.
Gone like Elvis.
They killed her in the first Scary Movie, and so did her career.
Never came back.
Never came back.
She was a very famous woman for being pretty back then.
From Baywatch.
Yeah, but she was only on. I think she was on Baywatch because she was pretty on MTV.
Yeah, I don't know.
Was that it?
She was pretty on TV, so she was pretty on TV.
She's not a good actress.
She also got this other job where she was pretty on TV.
She's not a good actress.
And then she did those other things where she was just pretty.
She was all pretty. She was pretty pretty though.
She was very pretty on TV.
Literally terrible actress. Like
the worst.
She was in those spoof movies because she was so bad. She's like Denise Richards level actress.
Right.
She's not good.
No.
Yeah. So 9 days later, Dennis files for an annulment, saying he was too drunk when he married her and didn't know what he was doing. Right. So then a publicist for Carmen Electra says that this is amazing. So this is weird. You get married in Vegas at the little Whitechapel deal. Right. They get married. Then 9 days later, he says he's too drunk. Then your wife's publicist comes out and says that her client married Dennis Rodman fair and square. She says that he was saying he was too drunk. That should be discounted. She said that Rodman faxed her a handwritten note rejecting the suggestion that his agent made publicly, saying that he wasn't in his right mind. And the statement said, quote, "I love Carmen and I'm proud to be married to her."
Carmen is begging for his hand of marriage.
You're like, don't embarrass me. Don't marry me publicly. Have it be on every damn TV show. Then say you were too drunk and didn't know what you were doing. Like I'm
Carmen Electra.
Like I'm a fucking hooker you picked up on the old strip. What the hell are you talking about?
I'm one of the most desired women in America.
Everyone wants to have sex with me. Do you understand that?
Except Dennis Rodman?
You know the advances I had to fend off from David Hasselhoff? Don't make me fucking smack you. He's drunker than you, damn it.
He sang me German songs. Just fucking be my husband.
Sent me a picture of him straddling the Berlin Wall.
And rubbing it.
Singing things. So December 8th, 1998, this is less than a month later, officers are called to the Bentley Hotel in South Beach in Miami at about 7 a.m. after receiving reports of screaming and fighting from a hotel room. Dennis Rodman and Carmen Electra had been out all night at various nightclubs in South Beach and got back at about 4:30 in the morning. Now, apparently what ends up happening is the officers are summoned. Rodman told officers that they went out and partied and went back to the hotel and went to sleep, only to wake up when Carmen Electra poked him. He says she poked him with a rose stem and punched him. Okay? That's his story.
Yeah.
her story, which makes no sense. Her story is that they were watching TV when they got back to the room, and Rodman became agitated when he saw a former boyfriend of hers on TV.
Now it makes sense.
He said, quote, "You fucking whore, get the fuck out of here. Go with Fred," whoever Fred is.
Okay.
I don't know. Someone from MTV. Yeah. Hopefully not Durst in this time period. I hope that didn't happen. But anyway, he told her, yes, you fucking whore, get the fuck out of here. So she says that he then grabbed her and threw her on the bedroom floor, yelling and screaming at her. Then he threw her outside the room onto the concrete walkway. She re-entered the room and began punching him about the body, she says, and yelled, quote, "How can you do this to me?" And then they both began to wrestle on the bed. And then she fled to another room, and he followed her and threw a purse at her. Okay. Threw her like, "Here, take your purse too." Well, it's better than what's his name? Who do we have? J.R. Ryder, who would take women's purses and run away. Right. He's saying, make sure you take your purse. I don't want to be the next J.R. Ryder.
I don't want to be arrested for theft.
Hey, J.R. Ryder every time. Come on. So, so a representative said that her injuries were extremely minor. They said there was a minor scratch on her lip. Rodman's T-shirt was torn. Both were arrested because it's one of those. It's a domestic violence call. They both look tattered. You take them both in. Yeah. He said he appeared in court, and he said he seemed, awfully shook up.
You're on vacation with your family in South Beach, and you see fucking Carmen Electra and Dennis Rodman being paraded down the hallway,
throwing in cuffs. In cuffs. Jesus Christ!
Was that fucking Dennis Rodman?
Yeah, judge orders them to stay away from each other. Yeah. Hey, stupids, stop it. He says that, quote, "I feel sorry. I guess it's one of those situations." I don't know what that means. It's not one of those you don't have those situations. One of the couple's lawyer, a lawyer for both of them, like, whose lawyer is this? He says, "They both tell me that this was a misunderstanding. Neither one wants to press charges." He called the arrests an overreaction. And, that was that. Dennis Rodman was in town filming the movie Cutaway, which, don't worry, we'll talk about. And he said both of them are really upset that they've been charged. Dennis really more upset than she's been charged. Mm-hmm. And they're not supposed to go near each other. So 98, 99, he's still playing basketball, by the way.
Of course.
January 15th, 1999, he's arrested and charged with being drunk in public and causing a disturbance in Newport Beach, California. He was just fucking, he's a goddamn mess. He was at the Woody's Wharf restaurant and bar, and it was about 9:15 Saturday night, and they called police, alleged that Mr. Rodman was intoxicated and causing a disturbance, and he was booked for investigation of public intoxication and spent a few hours in jail and then bailed himself out. Okay. January 21st, a week later, 1999, the Bulls release him. They're like, we don't really need this. And this was after Jordan left now. He retired. Yeah. This was when the Bulls were in free fall. Yeah. Their record was terrible. Yeah. They're like, why do we have this guy on the team? Why are we paying him? Right. This is stupid. So they release him. February 23rd, a month later, 99, he signed as a free agent with the Lakers. I don't know if you remember that.
I do remember that.
Yeah, he ends up playing for the Lakers here. Not enough to really fucking matter, though. 98, 99 Lakers. He plays in like 23 games. Yeah. He still averages 11.2 rebounds a game, though, which is still not bad. So March of 99, there's a woman who's accused of stalking Dennis Rodman.
What?
She's held on $50,000 bail. She pleads innocent to 3 counts of making terroristic threats and 1 count of electronic stalking.
Yeah.
So, she's all over him.
It's Carmen Electra, isn't it?
No, it's a woman named Marie Bogazuski.
Oh, boy.
Wow, that's quite the name. She allegedly emailed and called his former agent hundreds of times to request a date with Rodman. She apparently learned the messages weren't being forwarded to Rodman, so she threatened to kill the employees of the agency.
Wow.
And, so she also she's also in Illinois, faces charges of aggravated assault against her father and aunt.
Unreal.
Just a little loopy, I think, altogether here. Rodman made $1 million for that little foray of 23 games so not too bad. April 16th, he's waived by the Lakers. They don't need him anymore. Repeated team violations, late arrivals to practice, and a 4-game leave of absence when he just got there.
Yeah.
So, he does, a movie comes out, though, called Simon Says.
I remember that.
S-E-Z.
Wesley Snipes?
I don't remember. S-E-Z, Simon Says. I don't know. He's the star. He plays Simon.
That's what it is. It's because of
he says
he's Simon of Demolition Man. It's like a runoff of that because he had the Demolition Man
hair. Prequel or a fucking sequel?
It's one of those things.
Oh no!
It's a spin-off of that
where
shit.
He plays Wesley Snipes,
something like that.
I'm like me, but taller and shittier at acting.
but better worse. At paying my fucking taxes.
But good at paying taxes, but not child support, as we'll talk about later on. April 1999, Carmen Electra files for divorce.
Yeah.
That's that there. That's the end of that marriage. So April 23rd, 1999, a judge refuses to dismiss a lawsuit against Rodman put on by a cocktail server named Susan Patterson, who claims that Rodman jammed a $100 bill down her blouse and grabbed her breast. I guess, and as a fee for the $100 tip or whatever the fuck he thought he was doing there. Said that her lawyer said it's outrageous conduct and they want the suit to proceed, and the judge says it can proceed, and so it goes on. August 1999, Rodman is arrested on August 21st after a disturbance at a bar. Again, misdemeanor public drunkenness. They said they decided not to charge him with public drunkenness because he was so drunk that he could not care for his own safety. He was so drunk he didn't even know he was publicly drunk.
They overserved him.
So it's not his fault.
It's theirs.
Yeah, they're not going to tell Dennis Rodman he's cut off.
No.
He's fun. Yeah, he's great. So 99-2000 here. December 22nd, 1999, he's driving his Bentley in the South Coast Plaza parking lot at about 6 p.m., and he'd been at the Clubhouse restaurant, which is in the strip mall there. As he's leaving, a mall security guard is notified by the restaurant's management that he'd been drinking. So what the fuck kind of restaurant management tells a mall security guard?
Right.
That's just the weirdest chain of evidence I've ever heard of, chain of whatever the fuck. Restaurants generally don't tell on themselves,
right.
A, and then B, what are they telling the mall security guard
for?
Call
the police, man.
So the guard who saw Rodman get in the car called police.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he did. The police said, quote, "They called us, we responded and stopped him off in the parking lot. The officers detected the odor of an alcoholic beverage, slurred speech, and bloodshot eyes. His blood alcohol level was 0.15, which is almost double the legal limit there. So he's driving his Bentley hammered. He says, quote, "I know some people were upset about the arrest, but I think the police were just doing their job." They weren't upset with the police. They're upset with you, stupid. He literally said it like, I know people are mad at the cops for arresting me, but it's cool. And he means that. He's not being funny. He then said that all he had was a couple of beers. That's all. And he said, they're just doing their job. They're just doing their job. Yeah, we know.
Right.
We're not upset with them.
We're not you big dummy.
When people call them and say, hey, we think a guy's about to drive drunk, their job is to go look at it. And then if you are drunk, their job's to fucking arrest you. It's clearly what their job is. Like if someone misses a three-pointer, it's your job to try to go collect that shit. It's the same thing. No one would go, oh, don't be mad at him because I missed the three-pointer. He's just doing his job, getting the rebound. No one cares about him. You missed a shot, stupid. So, yeah. February 3rd, 2000, he signs with the Dallas Mavericks. They have to have him.
Really?
Yep. This was when Mark Cuban was new. It was still like up in the air. It was still like getting finalized, his purchase of the team.
Is this the old jerseys?
Yeah, this is pre Mark Cuban.
The fucking M with the hat on it?
No. I think this is just blue with Mavericks and white letters on it. Here, he tells them, though, that he can't start playing with them until after the Super Bowl and Pro Bowl because he's scheduled to attend parties that he's going to get appearance fees for. I got to go drink a whole bunch, and then I'll go play basketball for money for you. Not really that committed, it doesn't seem like. So he plays for 12 games for Dallas, averages 14.3 rebounds a game somehow. And finally, on March 8th, he is waived by the Mavericks. And that is it for Dennis Rodman's NBA career. He plays in 911 games. He averages 13.1 rebounds a game, which is outstanding.
Over a career.
And that includes the end and the beginning. So, I mean,
wow.
He led the league in rebounding 7 years in a row. So that's pretty fucking good.
Unreal.
In rebounds per game. And there was times where he was averaging 6.4, 5.9, 5.7 offensive rebounds a game, which is just points. Yeah. That can translate right to points. Right. Those are putbacks. Those are second chance baskets. That's a lot. So very valuable guy. So valuable, he made about $27 million and change in his career.
In pay.
In basketball
pay.
So off
Plus
the field. Off
party
the court.
fees.
Oh, Jesus. He's got all those Pro Bowl fees. He also appears in a movie called Cutaway that he was filming with Carmen Electra as Randy Turbo Kingston, which sounds like a Chappelle Show character. Yeah. Also in this movie, Tom Berenger. So,
are you
not
shitting
bad.
me?
Jake Taylor from Major League. Yeah. So we have that. Now, the 24th of 2000, March, he settles that Connie Wilcox lawsuit here. The cocktail waitress who accused him of picking her up by the sides and hurting her boob. Here, it's a settlement. They don't say, he gave her money though, basically. Yeah. They don't say, it's undisclosed as part of the deal. 2000, he's seeing a woman named Michelle Moyer. And at this point, he has a son with this woman, Michelle. He's been seeing her for about a year and a half now. He has a son with her. His son is born.
No.
He found a new fucking way, dude.
What'd he do?
He named his son DJ Dennis Jr. Rodman.
What?
What the fuck are you doing? That's not even a thing.
No.
It's not Dennis Keith Rodman Jr. It's not
DJ?
not Junior. He named him Dennis Jr. Rodman.
Wow.
Like he's Dennis Jr.
Oh boy.
Get it? Dennis Jr.
No.
Rodman.
Junior.
He found a fucking new way to do it. You dumb shit. I give up. You know what? Thanks for listening, everyone. Crime Sports has been fun. Everybody have a good one. I've had enough of this shit.
That's how Otis Nixon Jr. was named, though. He was Otis Jr. Nixon Jr.
At least he named him after him and then a junior. This guy was like, I want him to be a junior. He's Dennis Jr. That's not how it works. No one told him?
Dennis Jr.
Jesus H. Christ, Dennis. Fuck. Jesus Junior Christ.
But he calls him DJ.
He calls him DJ.
Okay. I thought he was named DJ Dennis Jr.
DJ Dennis Jr. DJ Dennis Jr. July of 2000, DUI court. Yay. He pleads guilty to misdemeanor drunken driving and driving without a California license when he was arrested here. He will pay $2,000 in fines, have to attend a 3-month alcohol program. His driving restrictions will be his driving privileges will be restricted to and from work and to and from the alcohol program. They do say that he voluntarily enrolled in the alcohol program before the plea was entered. Okay. You'll notice whenever he fucks up, he immediately goes to rehab.
He starts fixing it.
And then when he goes to court, he goes, "Well, I know I fucked up, and I know it's because I was fucking drunk, and I went to rehab, and I just got out." And then they're way more. They're way more lenient.
He gets out in front of the problem.
He's smart like that. Yeah. Oh yeah. PR. He knows how to get in front of PR. Yeah. 2001. He has a daughter named Trinity.
Oh.
So another kid here for him.
He has third one. Yeah. So it's Trinity.
Yeah. Exactly.
Smart.
Thank you. January 2002. Newport Beach police again arrest him. He's really popular in Newport Beach. He's arrested at a restaurant, Josh Slocum's, which Rodman co-owns.
Really?
He gets arrested at his own restaurant for suspicion of delaying a police investigation. Apparently they were serving beverages past closing time, past the legal closing time, and police showed up, and Dennis was basically trying to keep them out and not
We're
let
closed,
them in.
Motherfucker,
Yeah, no, it's cool. No, we'll come on. He's trying to, and they said, how about we'll take you to fucking jail if you don't stop it and let us in. He's like, no. And they went, oh, yes. He went, you're just doing your job. It's okay.
I gotta go to rehab.
I gotta go to rehab now. I'll be back. January 11, 2003, he's arrested again after a woman reports that he assaults her. The woman here, she said that she was picked up by cops here at 2 a.m. She called the cops at which is at a parking lot near Rodman's home. The police sergeant said the woman had cuts and swelling to her upper lip, and she claimed she had a bump on her head. They went to Rodman's residence, interviewed him and several witnesses, and arrested him on suspicion of domestic violence. Yes. So the police representative said Rodman and the woman had some sort of dating relationship, but we don't know the extent of it. They're not married. And so that's that. He posts $25,000 bail and gets out. So on his birthday here on May 13th, because that was January, in May, He marries that woman, Michelle Moyer.
The one he punched in the mouth.
The one, the one he had a
with Trinity.
Now. Trinity and DJ there. Right. 42nd birthday, he marries her in 2003, and they had a private civil ceremony then, and they said the real wedding will take place on the second Saturday of June on the beach in front of his house. He said everybody's invited. We will have a ceremony and a concert too. So there is that. They have children together, obviously 2 of them. And then he says, one thing, though, they do maintain separate residences and will continue to do so. They live 2 miles apart. And he says, we won't live together. He says, I like it like that. She and the kids can come over on weekends. She keeps me balanced. She's cool.
What?
I'm just, you can hear silence, but if you could see my face right now, I don't even know.
Marriage, man.
That's not how that works.
No.
I like it like that. She and the kids can come over on weekends. That's called a divorce.
Yeah.
You just want to be divorced. You don't want to be married. No. You want to skip right ahead to the divorce part. See, he likes to make his life shit.
Likes to get out in front of the problems.
That's the thing. It's like, yeah, get right out. Visitation on the weekends. It's like, Dennis, you can see them every day. He's like, no, we'll be divorced eventually, though. I want to get out in front of this shit.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. So 2003, that summer, he's got more lawsuits. Former Playboy model Tina New files a $10 million lawsuit against him, saying that he sexually assaulted her 4 years ago at his home, and he ends up settling that one out of court. Tina, this is crazy, is a witness in an unrelated murder trial of an ex-boyfriend of hers who she claims killed his millionaire wife, it says in this article. It's fucking crazy.
Why is she around so much crazy
She's
shit?
around a lot of crazy. Playboy, man. Playboy.
What the fuck?
Yeah, she, according to the lawsuit, Rodman, quote, continuously threw her around into different sexual positions, grabbing her all over the body in a rough manner, and also forced her to drink 2 shots of an unidentified alcohol. You know, like, I don't know.
He's a problem like Andy Dick, only he's like physically menacing.
Only he's enormous.
Right.
Andy Dick, you can just shove down and he'll fall and be like, nah. He'll fall down and he'll wake up tomorrow and you can just, and he'll find his way home. But like Dennis
will hurt you.
He can dominate a room physically. Right. It's a different story. She waited 10 days to report the incident, and the police were not able to gather physical evidence, obviously, and there was no charges against him. He says the accusation is false, and his attorney says this matter will be defended vigorously. Yeah. Vigorously. So there's another here. A panel voted that Rodman, a 10-2 vote that Rodman did not sexually batter or inflict emotional distress on Joe, Len, and McGowan here. They also held in a 9-3 vote that McGowan was not assaulted. So, she was suing him for false imprisonment and battery here, which is crazy. She alleged that she met Rodman at a restaurant, the same restaurant that he keeps getting, that he got arrested at, and he gave her a beer laced with something, gave her a roofie, and she claimed that Rodman took her home and raped her. Okay. And then no charges were ever filed. And that was that. His lawyer says, quote, I think he gets a lot of bad press. A lot of it's undeserved, and I think this is a very positive reaction that it's, the court voted for him. But this is constant.
This is a problem. Like,
it's a lot.
When you're that famous, though, you can't just be... Fuck it.
No.
Why would you do that? Why would you have any inkling? Why would you put yourself in any position?
I gotta be cool.
Yeah.
I gotta be cool.
Don't put yourself in any position where that's even a possibility.
But for him, though, he needs to drink.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
It's his favorite.
He has to.
Yeah.
October 19, 2003, he's arrested for DUI.
Yeah.
He is treated for minor injuries and released after he crashed his motorcycle while doing stunts outside a strip club. Drunk.
Wow.
He's drunk doing stunts on a motorcycle outside of a strip club. That's the fucking stupidest, fucking dumbest.
But if there was a place that somebody told you Dennis Rodman was drunk doing stunts on a motorcycle,
you go, where was it? Outside a Vegas strip club? And they go, yeah, absolutely, Vegas strip club. It's amazing. So now he's again arrested, again taken in a bucket. How many times? How much bail has he posted? It's insane.
Yeah.
He gets out of there and he's like, fuck, I got to turn my life around. Yeah. How many times has he had that conversation with himself? I got to turn my fucking life around.
I got to do this.
This is terrible.
Today.
I can't do it. I got to do it today.
Yeah.
And at this point, he gets home and he said, new life, man.
Yeah.
New fucking life. He's decided he was going to sell his house in Vegas. He's going to get out of there. He's going to do a different thing.
He was living in Vegas.
Well, he had a place there and shit like that. And he's like, I got to do this. He goes, I'm going to get a new place. I'm going to do this, all this shit. So he needs help doing all this, and he invites somebody over, and they come over, and it's Dexter Manley, interior decorator, ready to help him with his new house.
Yeah.
And he says, how is it you've come to arrive here? Yeah. Seriously, Dennis, I'm sorry, but you are white trash. Yeah. Oh, my God. A DUI for doing motorcycle tricks and stunts or whatever you're doing on that silly thing in front of a strip club?
Right.
Seriously, Dennis? Was it a straight club? I'm just going to ask you. I'm not judging. Who's judging here? It's fine.
Ladies,
by the way, that boa it's spectacular. I'm not going to lie to you. It's spectacular. But back to the subject. You are white trash, mister, and I'm sorry. You're marrying women. You're beating them up. You're grabbing boobs left and right, stuffing hundreds into What are you doing? Stop. Stop being dumb. You white trash moron. Poof. In a puff of boas and glitter and purple feathers that he's gone, and Dennis is like, that guy's outfit was sweet. He liked his pants.
Snatched a boa out of the air and wrapped it around.
Wrapped it around himself. It was wild. So 2004, he plays for the Long Beach Jam for a little while.
No.
Who cares about that? April 4th, he's in DUI. April 2004, he's in DUI court. He pleads no contest to drunken driving in the stupid motorcycle accident. Yeah. And he is not required to show up to put his plea in, but his plea is entered on his behalf.
Yeah.
And you, sir, may fuck off 30 days house arrest. So not really fucking off. He lives in a nice place. Stay home. That's when I should have had Dexter come in there. He said, man, I'm stuck here for 30 days. I got to redecorate. Damn it. Sorry. Fucked up my segue. So also a judge fines him $1,000 and he is required to have a blowy on his car,
blowy on his motorcycle,
on something, on his device, on something. His wife files for divorce at this point, and so there's that.
Yep.
That goes on here, but they won't get divorced till 2012. But she'll be not lived together. She's gone. It's just legally. 2004, he plays for the ABA's Orange County Crush. Yeah. He plays for the Tijuana Dragons.
Oh boy!
He even played a game for the Torpan Pojat in Finland.
The what?
Torpan Pojat.
Yeah.
What the fuck that is. 2005, he poses naked for PETA. Rather go naked than wear fur. He's the first male athlete to do that at all. Also travels to Finland that year, where he was supposed to participate. He goes to Sankajärvi, where he is supposed to participate in the wife carrying contest. But
at least it's better than beating.
He said he had a health problem of some kind. He couldn't carry a woman across Finland, so he wasn't going to do that. Okay. It's what I mean. The wife beating guy, he's like, oh, I'll be there for that one. Also, he publishes another book here, I Should Be Dead by Now. And
that's the truth.
Another book in 2005. And he becomes commissioner of the Lingerie Football League.
He was the commish of that?
For 2005.
Really?
Which is now called Legends Football League.
Yeah, because it's a
7-on-7 tackle league where women played in their underwear. What a weird fucking thing to do.
Let's not call it what it is. Let's just, they're legends for what they're doing.
It's pretty legendary.
Yeah.
So January 26th, 2006, Rodman signs a one-game deal to play with a UK team, goes over to England and plays for the Brighton Bears of the British Basketball League.
God damn it.
So he does that. Also goes to play some exhibition games in the Philippines with Darryl Dawkins, Kevin Willis, Calvin Murphy, and Alex English.
I'd watch.
That's interesting. Yeah. Also, they defeated a Filipino team over there, and they were he scored 5 points and had 18 rebounds, so just went right along with his normal numbers here. So Rodman also appears in a bunch of reality shows. Here he appeared in Celebrity Big Brother in the UK while he was over there doing basketball. He's going to film some shit. He's on Celebrity Big Brother UK edition, Love Island on the UK as a house guest. He was just there for a week. And also he appears in the U.S. on the Celebrity Mole Show on ABC with Stephen Baldwin, Jesus Christ, Corbin Burnson, Mark Curry, remember Mr. Cooper, Angie Everhart, who was in a bunch of shitty B movies, Tracy Gold, the fucking Growing Pains woman, Growing Pains daughter, I don't know who the hell she, Ananda Lewis? Isn't she?
Amanda Lewis.
No, it's Ananda. They say
Ananda?
Here. I don't know who that is though.
I don't know.
Keisha Knight Pulliam William, Rudy.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking Rudy.
I remember this show.
And Dennis Rodman. Nanda Lewis, I think she is is she a BET host?
I don't know.
I want to say from the 90s. I'm trying to think of these 90s stars, and it's hard to
that's who they all are.
So I think that's who that is, because we used to watch BET a lot. Okay. They had good videos. So anyway, he's also 2008 Hulk Hogan Celebrity Championship Wrestling. He's involved
going back
in
to that?
Yeah, and he was also in TNA in 2004 for a minute, but he made one appearance. I won't even mention that because TNA deserves no mention anywhere. So he comes out. Oh, by the way, he won $220,000 on Celebrity Bowl.
Yeah, he did. That's why he won it.
Yeah.
That's why I remember it.
He appears as a contestant on Hulk Hogan's Celebrity Wrestling. Jesus Christ, he's the winner of the series, defeating challengers such as Butterbean and Dustin Diamond.
Jesus,
he beat Screech up.
He beat up Screech.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not real.
No, it's wrestling. He didn't actually fight Butterbean. Butterbean would murder him.
I want him to fight Screech.
If Butterbean hit Dennis Rodman, he'd fall out of the ring. He would crumble him. So May 1st, 2008, Dennis Rodman arrested here for domestic battery. He's taken into custody, and he hit a woman. She suffered injuries to her arms, apparently. Mm-hmm. He posts $50,000 bail and is released. The woman he hit is his girlfriend, Gina Peterson.
Yeah.
So right away, he enters a rehab facility in Florida. Yeah. Right after that.
Rehab for beating chicks?
Well, it's for alcohol and beating chicks. I think comes with the alcohol. So I'm in rehab for chick beating. June of 2008, he pleads no contest to misdemeanor spousal battery. That's what he does. Go to rehab, plead no contest. Yeah. And he's sentenced to 3 years probation.
Wow.
So 1 year
start.
1 year domestic violence counseling and 45 days of community service. And he's arrested there. His manager says, quote, his life has not been going smoothly for the last few months. He's not been able to see his kids, and he's been drinking too much. Yeah. So problems. 2009, he appears on Celebrity Apprentice, as you might remember, hosted by the president.
Yeah.
Just weird to say.
Who else was on it? Was Cyndi Lauper on his?
This one, Jesus Christ, which one was this? God damn it!
Cyndi Lauper was,
I don't remember, and I didn't reason by it here. So he ended up being the fifth person eliminated.
Yeah.
And his behavior was so weird on the show that Phil Jackson and his family and friends had an intervention for him to say, look, dude, you're on TV looking like a fucking idiot and drunk and shit. Get your head out of your ass. Phil Jackson had to do this.
Wow.
And he refused to enter rehab because, he's already been there 40 times.
And also he's not arrested.
Well, he also said that he wanted to attend the Celebrity Apprentice reunion show. So he's going to wait till after. I got parties to go to. So, wow.
Fees.
Yeah. So eventually he goes, and he also agrees later on that year to appear on Celebrity Rehab. So he goes from Celebrity Apprentice to Celebrity Rehab. He remains in there, and he also remains at the Sober House show and does a season of that. Wow.
May as well.
Yeah, they reunited him with his mother, Shirley, who he hadn't talked to in 7 years.
Yeah.
And also, Shirley met Rodman's two kids for the first time.
Wow.
On Sober House there.
DJ?
Yeah, DJ and the other one.
Trinity,
thank you. So, third one. Yeah. So, January 2010, the day Celebrity Rehab premieres on television, Rodman is removed from a restaurant in California for disruptive behavior. They tell him that the law enforcement said that he was drinking at a restaurant, and the cops were called after several patrons complained and called the cops about his insanity. When the police arrived, they said he was cooperative with the officers and eventually agreed to leave. They had to talk to him a little. So, summer of 2010, Jesus Christ, he's at a party in the Hamptons, and I don't know where this came from, but apparently he was there was a microphone there, and he had a cordless microphone, and he was saying shit, probably from the DJ stand or whoever's playing the music there at the party. And then after that, he got about a half a dozen women and brought them to an upstairs bedroom and left the microphone on. So basically, it's him saying horribly dirty shit to 6 different women
in a
while he fucks
atmosphere.
them over not knowing that's being broadcast to an entire pool party over a PA system
and a neighborhood.
Yeah, you can hear that forever.
For the whole fucking beach.
And his agent would come out and he says, quote, he was unaware of the microphone being turned on. I do know he had a few drinks in him.
I want the transcript.
Yeah, and a few girls had him in him.
Yeah.
So, 2010.
And now herpes.
And now herpes also. Don't forget that. October 2010, police kick him out of Surf and Sands bar. They asked him, the staff asked him to quiet down several times, and when he didn't, they called police, and he was taken away.
Yeah.
So he says, at this point in time, he has a statement about his fame. This is fucking amazing. Yeah. He said, quote, if you rank the 10 most identifiable people on the planet, I'd be number 5. This is in 2010 he said this. Okay?
What?
I'd come in right after God, Jesus, Muhammad Ali, and Barack Obama. But take away the top 4's bodyguards and entourages and put them on a busy street in New York City, and I bet no one would recognize any of them. They'd recognize me, though, and I don't even try to stick out. What? I don't even know where to begin.
What is he talking about?
How do you even start to deconstruct that?
You take the disciples away from Jesus, and nobody knows who he is.
God and his entourage. Right. He's always known for his big entourage around. Jesus, we don't know anything about any of this shit. Muhammad Ali is pretty fucking recognizable without anybody around. He's the shaky guy who looks like Muhammad Ali.
He's the shaky guy that's mumbling, I'm the champ.
And Obama was, the most famous man on the face of the planet at that point, being the president of the United States and all that sort of shit. So I'm not positive that he's correct on that.
There are people that are under 20 that have no fucking idea who you are, Rodman.
My daughter said, who are you doing this week on Crime and Sports? I said, Dennis Rodman. She said, who's that? Exactly.
Done.
Not a fucking idea who he is. 2011, Basketball Hall of Fame, elected.
Really?
Great fucking player.
Yeah.
He deserves it.
Led the league in rebounding for 7 years.
That's right. Also brought in that year, Chris Mullin, Artis Gilmore, who was nasty. Artis Gilmore, Arvydas Sabonis in that year. Sabonis, because he was great. This is like, it's not just NBA.
Okay.
It's everything.
Oh, it's everything.
So it's
basketball.
Overseas, he was an amazing player. And a bunch of old guys. Tex Winter, who was one of the Bulls executives here. Now, May 2012, Rodman faces 4 counts of contempt for failing to pay child support. He will be forced to do some community service, probably, they're saying, because he's going to be forced. He owes $808,935,000 in unpaid child support for his 2 kids, with an additional $51,441 in unpaid spousal support.
Wow.
Yes. He says, his attorney says there's no way that Dennis could pay those bills because, quote, respondent Dennis Rodman is broke and cannot afford any additional fees.
Dennis Rodman's
legal fees.
Broke?
His lawyer also said that Dennis is extremely sick and isn't just making the same bank he made back in the heyday here. He says that he's broke, basically. Also, he says the big child support figures based on an order that Michelle obtained a while back when he's supposed to pay $50,000 a month in child support.
Oh, God.
And he's been fighting it since 2010. His lawyer insists the monthly amount is unjustified because it isn't based on Dennis's actual income. It's based on ludicrous estimates made by Michelle's attorney, which that happens. So he could be sentenced up to 20 days in jail for failure to make future payments as well. He is sentenced to 104 hours of community service and 3 years probation after being found guilty of contempt for not paying child support here. So, that's a use, sir, may fuck off, I guess.
Suppose.
I mean, how bad do you have to feel for his kids?
Yeah.
Everyone else gets to see dad but us,
right?
Basically. And what about his first fucking kids? I haven't heard them mentioned. Hide nor
first
one or hair.
Yeah.
The first one, he's got 4 kids. I don't know the 4th. That's what he says later. I don't know where the 4th is.
He's got Alexis, Trinity, and DJ.
That's the ones I know of. There's another one out there somewhere.
My God.
I'm not sure, but that's the him of the family, so he should pay more attention to him. That's the LaToya Jackson, the Tiffany Trump. Pay attention to that kid.
Give a damn.
Yeah, something. So not great for him. I do feel bad for those kids. I really do, but not nearly as bad as I feel for Dennis Rodman, associate. Jesus Christ. Well, let's do this one first. Dennis Rodman, student at Polytechnic of Namibia.
In another
a student in another country. And then this guy, the most I feel bad for, Dennis Rodman, associate director of global quality at Bristol Myers Squibb in Englishtown, New Jersey. He works in a corporate job. He has to put a dress shirt on and dress pants
and go be Dennis Rodman
and fucking shoes that are uncomfortable every day and go to work and have people go, not that Dennis Rodman. Yeah, he works for Bristol. You fucking idiots. By lunch, he's ready to kill 5 people.
Every day.
Every goddamn day. July 31st, 2012, he's writing a children's book.
Oh,
how about you pay child support?
Right.
Before you write. I'm writing my kids a book instead. It's Jesus Christ. It's called Dennis the Wild Bull, and he promises to convey good lessons to children based on Dennis's own experiences as a world-class athlete while overcoming obstacles as a child. Somebody asked him in this article, why did you write a children's book? I didn't even know you had kids. He said, quote, I've got 4. I never wanted to be a father, but I love having kids. I think about them so much. I have a tendency to love something I can't have. And if I can have something, I can't love it.
What?
He just said that I never wanted to be a father. I love having kids. I think about them all the time because I can't see them. So that makes me like them. But if I liked them, then I wouldn't. If I saw them, I wouldn't love them. And that's not how fathers work.
No.
That's how your father was. That's not how you're supposed to be. February 2013, quickly, we got to buzz through. He goes to North Korea like a fucking idiot.
So weird.
Yeah, I know that we need diplomacy with countries, not from this idiot.
No.
This idiot has no place. Go drink in a bar in Newport Beach because you're a fucking moron.
This guy's favorite basketball player was Dennis Rodman. That doesn't, I don't even believe that.
No, he's a big fan of 90s American culture.
I don't even believe that.
I've heard that from everybody.
The
Bulls were his
the new thing to him there?
The Bulls were his favorite team in the 90s. Big Michael Jordan 90s.
How old is
Kim
he?
Jong-un.
Yeah.
Kim Jong-un's like in his late 30s. Yeah.
Okay.
So that makes sense. Yeah, in the 90s that was his jam, so now he's a dictator that gets to hang out with. It's really weird. Well, fuck, Saddam Hussein loved American movies.
Did he?
Fuck, he loved The Godfather, favorite movie. Watched it all the time. They said constantly. Loved it.
So weird.
I think because
why do you guys hate us so much when you love us? Stop hating us because you love us.
He doesn't care. He just Kim Jong-un is a fat kid who went to school in fucking in Europe and has to. He went to school in Europe.
Did he really?
Fuck yeah, he did. He was educated
in Europe. Got him the fuck out of there.
Yeah, to get an education. Educated in Europe. He's totally into Western shit. He just needs to keep this weird military dictatorship and starve all his people like a fucking lunatic asshole.
Because that's what his dad said to do.
Yeah. So he was a teenager in Switzerland when he was a big fan of basketball because that's when the Bulls were the biggest thing in the world.
Stop hating us, love us.
Oh God, Jesus Christ. So Rodman there, he said that he got along so well with Kim Jong-un. He said, quote, I hang out with him all the time. We laugh, we sing karaoke, we do a lot of cool things together like skiing and riding horses.
Skiing?
What are they, taking a fucking 20th anniversary to Aspen? What the fuck is this? Are we going to wine country?
Is this summer
karaoke,
camp?
skiing, and riding horses? This is like you're going to an Aspen ski lodge.
Right.
We're going to go ride horses tomorrow, then we're going to hit the slopes, and then we'll come back and do karaoke with Jack Nicholson in the fucking lodge.
Is it the slopes, or is it
what is happening?
Is it like lake skiing?
Jesus, yeah.
Jet boat.
Jet boat. March 2013, he arrives in Vatican City during the voting for the new pope for some reason. He gets there. They said, what the fuck are you doing here? Yeah. He said, I'm just promoting this website. It's a gambling website. It's about people who are going to bet on the new pope. And if he's black, you get your money back. So if there was a couple black pope candidates, and they said a black pope gets everyone's money back. And the Pope Francis was a 25-1 long shot on that one, yeah. So someone cleaned up on Pope Francis here. 2013, he goes on Celebrity Apprentice, and he wins again. He wins $20,000 for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. It's the 6th contestant kicked off. July 2013, he launches Bad Boy Vodka, which is not what he needs to do. Have unlimited access to vodka.
Fuck out of booze.
He says Bad Boy Vodka characterizes a tough and edgy yet smooth and classic taste, a perfect representation of who and what I'm all about. Website is no longer active for that bad boy. So Bad Boy Vodka is fucking no longer.
I wonder if Diddy made him shut that
That's what I said. I'm like, how did you do Bad Boy Vodka?
How are you doing that?
I'm sure Puff Daddy was like, no, motherfucker. Hell no.
Well, I did that long, but not really long before. It was way
after. Mid-90s.
Yeah, but Bad Boy Detroit was long before
the
his
Bad Boys.
bullshit.
Yeah, that's true. Bad Boy like that. You know what?
Fuck you, Diddy.
I don't think anyone's trademarking.
Fucking hack.
I don't think anyone's trademarking Bad Boy. That's what it is there at that point. So, 2013, December, Rodman says he's going back to North Korea. He's going back to do a basketball exhibition tour with Kenny Anderson.
That's right. He brought friends.
Cliff Robinson, Vin Baker, Craig Hodges, Doug Christie. I'm surprised his wife let him go. God, he's pathetic, that Doug Christie.
He just had to leave his balls
Yeah,
here.
it's like, here, okay, honey. Sleepy Floyd, if you saw it, it's a crazy situation. Yeah. Not that he's like, it's bad to be nice to your wife.
No, his wife is
weird.
horrible.
And he's like, I know she's bad, but it's okay.
Yeah.
I'll just put up with it. Charles D. Smith, not Charles Smith we covered,
right.
The other Charles Smith, the Knicks Charles Smith.
The good one.
Yeah, so he goes there. He does make comments on a CNN interview saying that an American, Kenneth Bay, who is being held prisoner in North Korea, must have done something wrong to end up in prison.
What
in
are
North
you
Korea.
doing?
That's what he said. And then right after that, he had all the players. He started a giant happy birthday to Kim Jong-un at one of the games that they played.
That is so
He
odd.
took the microphone and started a happy birthday to Kim Jong-un.
There's an American in prison there, and you're singing happy birthday to the dictator.
While he starves his people.
Wow.
It's a little weird. So a bunch of people met him when he got back from North Korea, when he got to China, and he said, quote, I'm not the president, I'm not the ambassador, I'm Dennis Rodman. I'm sorry for what's going on in North Korea, the certain situations. He said, yeah, but he's not sorry he went over there.
It's not my problem.
Yeah, that's what he said, basically. And then his attorney said, Dennis is proud to be an American citizen, and his trips to North Korea have all been paid for by sponsors.
Right.
It's just a publicity stunt.
It's just money.
That's all it is, too. This one was paid for, I believe, by a cryptocurrency company.
Really?
Paid him to go over there and fuck around.
Bitcoin or some shit?
Yeah, a State Department official said that Rodman's visit was, quote, marginally unhelpful in our relations with North Korea. John McCain, Senator John McCain, the late Senator John McCain, had a different take. He said, quote, I think he's an idiot. So... Yeah, and the Department of Treasury, Department of Treasury is investigating whether to charge him with a crime for reportedly bringing Kim Jong-un thousands of dollars in luxury gifts in his vacation too. Can't bring dictators luxury gifts.
No,
or bring anything into North Korea because we have sanctions against them. That's the point. Then he releases Dennis the Wild Bull, the children's book, January 15, 2014. Rehab again. Yes, this came right after North Korea, and his representative said, quote, Dennis Rodman came back from North Korea in pretty rough shape emotionally. The pressure that was put on him to be a combination superhuman political fixer and fixer got the best of him. No one put that pressure on him. No one asked you to do that.
He did that himself.
We actually asked you not to do it.
We begged you.
The state said, please don't do that.
Don't go, Dennis.
Yeah, he said he's embarrassed, saddened, and remorseful for the anger and the hurt his words have caused. Later on, he did apologize for the comments of the prisoner. He said he apologized. He said he was drunk when he said it. Literally said he'd been drinking that day in North Korea and hanging out and didn't realize what he was popping off at the mouth. And he said, I apologize. If I could take his place, I would, is what he said.
Well, then do it.
Yeah, let's see.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot of booze problems.
Yeah.
And let's see what he says about it. Let's do an In Their Own Words.
Great.
Which I think Dennis Rodman, that music behind him was perfect. In their own words, quote, I'm not an alcoholic. An alcoholic drinks 7 days a week. I don't drink 7 days a week. When I drink, I don't hurt nobody. I don't have no DUIs, nothing like that. I didn't go to rehab for drinking. There aren't too many people who quit drinking go into rehab. Not too many people can do that. What in the fuck are you talking about?
You have so many DUIs.
And so many rehab trips.
Yeah.
You're Mr. Rehab. You get a DUI on your way to rehab.
Right.
That's how fucking bad you are.
Wow.
But he's not an alcoholic. Carmen Electra's on Oprah in 2014.
Saying.
And she said that, Jesus Christ, people couldn't understand why I loved him because he had such a reputation for being a bad boy. What I saw in the beginning was this gentle giant that was in a lot of pain, so we understood each other.
They were herpes.
They were herpes, both of them. We'll rub our sores together. She says, quote, when it was good, it was amazing, and when it was bad, it was the worst. So that's that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They crack and they bleed.
I would say. July 2016, he's arrested for causing a car accident while driving on the wrong side of the freeway.
Oh, my God.
It's
What?
The 5 freeway in Santa Ana.
What?
He's driving, yeah.
Fucking interstate?
It's not a little freeway.
No.
It's a fucking California
Jesus.
14 wide 14 lane wide freeway. It's huge.
7 on each side.
He apparently nearly collided with a sedan, forcing another driver to crash into a concrete barrier. He briefly stopped, but didn't then exchange any information or anything, and then left before officers arrived. The other driver wasn't seriously injured, and prosecutors don't know whether to file charges against him or not. They're like, this is really weird. Eventually they do. He's charged with 4 misdemeanors, causing a hit-and-run accident with property damage, driving across a highway divider, giving false information to police, and driving without a valid license. Oof.
That's why he ran.
Witnesses said they saw him drinking at a karaoke bar right before the crash.
Yeah.
But he wasn't charged with a DUI because they didn't find him till later.
Yeah.
That's why he drove away. He's like, oh, fuck that shit.
He doesn't have a license, and he's been drinking.
I've been drinking.
I gotta go.
Yeah, now his attorney said, quote, Mr. Rodman, this is a silver-haired middle-aged white man right here. This is hardcore. Mr. Rodman turned and corrected the driving error, stopped and spoke with the people in the other car. Their cars never touched. We look forward to a discussion of all the facts. You were driving the wrong way.
It doesn't matter
on the freeway, and someone had to avoid you and almost killed themselves. You have to stop. You can't just go, you cool? All right, and drive away. You almost killed these fucking people.
But I see, legality-wise, if they don't touch.
They didn't touch.
He didn't crash.
But he was going the wrong way, causing a fucking accident.
Yeah,
it's crazy. The California Highway Patrol recommended to the state that Rodman face charges in this, but he denied anything is wrong. He says, quote, life is good. That's why I've never been charged.
You've been charged a lot.
He then said, guess what? Nothing happened. There was no wreck. There was no injuries. There was no nothing. So I guess it's going on hearsay. There was a wreck. A woman or a family hit a concrete barrier because of you, stupid. So, Jesus Christ. They said they were currently looking into the matter here. And now he does have this problem. They do charge him. He's on 3 years probation already. Yeah. This is for the last DUI. So you, sir, may fuck off 3 years probation.
He's got
what's a lot of probation?
How much probation does the man get?
So much. He was facing at least 2 years behind bars, and he ends up with just probation somehow. Wow. June 2013, he goes back to North Korea. He says, my purpose is to go over there and see if I can keep bringing sports to North Korea. Wow. He brought him 2 signed basketball jerseys, 2 soap sets, and a copy of Donald Trump's book, The Art of the Deal. That's what he bought him.
Wow.
That's what he bought him. We're trying to make relations better.
Right.
Don't give him soap and the worst book ever fucking soap and a ghost-written book of horseshit. That's what you're fucking giving him?
And 2 old basketball jerseys?
That's weird. That's probably what he liked. Yeah. So, they also said that Where's Waldo book for Un's daughter, and a jigsaw puzzle book of a mermaid for his daughter.
He got him a bunch of shit at Walgreens?
Apparently, he was like, oh shit, I gotta go.
I forgot to get him a gift.
Is there watches at the airport gift shop still?
I thought 2 jerseys would
still sell watches? Because I'll go get him one right now. I'll pick one up on the way out.
All they got is Dasani's. We gotta go somewhere else.
This trip was sponsored by the cryptocurrency company Potcoin. So that's why he's going. I'm there to bring peace and get a paycheck from a cryptocurrency company. Now, here's his take on modern basketball here, because I always like hearing old players. Yeah. Because I agree with a lot of the old NBA players on, Steph Curry would have been broken in half halfway through his rookie year. Yeah. They would have murdered him. Yeah. He played 1 game in Detroit. He never would have came out of it. He would have been mangled. Yeah. Guys like that. Not that they're not great, amazing players, but he says, quote, it's very easy to do what they define greatness as now. Michael Jordan did it when it was tough, really tough. And what did he do? Led the league in scoring 10 years in a row. 10 years in a row, he led the league in scoring. 10 years in a row, back then that was hard. Averaged like 32 points a game. That was hard back then. Now it's easy. All these fucking triple doubles. Back then when he was getting his ass whooped, beat down every game. And then when he played against us, the Detroit Pistons, he said, guess what? I got to go back in the gym. And he got tough, and he got great and greater. So that's it. Okay. Yeah. No, that is true. You had to be a lot physically tougher back then because there was a physical game.
Nobody leads the league 10 years in a row anymore.
You can't. Nobody does. They break you. Yeah. And that's the way it is. And
but today you'll have KD, then you'll have Steph Curry, then you have LeBron.
Well, they go back and forth.
Somebody else. And just all the way down the line, there's nobody repeating.
No, absolutely. Now, January 14th, 2018, he is arrested. He is arrested for, guess what? DUI. DUI.
Yeah.
DUI. His blood alcohol level 0.21.
Oh, he's been drinking hard today.
Really, 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 really fucking drunk.
Yeah.
He's arrested. He's taken to jail. His agent said that he's been dealing with some major personal issues in the last month, and I know it's time to check back in a rehab center and work through those. We ask for his fans and others to pray for him because he's such a great person when he's sober and deserves to be happy with all the joy he gave his fans when he played in the NBA. It's now time for him to rebound in life.
Yeah.
Ugh, hate when they do that. Says he recognizes the problem. He's working hard. No one questions his big heart and his care for others. Blah, blah, fucking blah. So, January 17th, 2018, 3 days later, checks into a New Jersey rehabilitation facility. Yes. He's ahead of it. He says, this is what he says about rehab. Quote, in the beginning, it was really, really helpful about sobriety. He says, but after a while, you get a little bored because of the fact that you're here so much and it's more like a routine. It's just redundant. But every once in a while, you have to go back and put yourself back in the situation and remember why you came back in the beginning. No. Every once in a while, I got to go out and get shit-faced and remember why you don't want to get shit-faced. Okay? Just look at your arrest record. Yeah. Look at your receipts of how much you've paid lawyers in the last 20 years. Look
at your balance.
Yeah.
And then go, oh, yeah, that's way smaller than it should be.
Fuck yeah. He said about this whole thing, everyone has ups and downs, and it's always been a rocky road no matter what you go into. So, March 12, 2018, he pleads guilty to 2 misdemeanor charges from the driving arrest. You, sir, may fuck off 3 years
probation.
Informal probation. What? He doesn't even have to check in. He just has to not fuck up. 9-month alcohol education program and a $390 fine.
He knows all about alcohol.
And he knows the most about it. He had a vodka company. So December 2018, he's supposed to be sober. He says now he's not sober anymore. Yeah. He says he returned to the bar scene. He says everyone has up and downs. He says you just try to maintain the situation. It's up to me if I want to do it for the rest of my life. Like I said, it's a long process and it's going to take me time to get over this hump. God. So I'm going to keep fucking drinking. Yeah. February 2019, he's suing, trying to recoup money that a woman named Peggy Ann Fulford, who was a financial advisor of his, who apparently scammed him, told him that she graduated from Harvard Business School and all this type of shit. Apparently it was all a lie.
Yeah.
She told him all this shit, him and other people too. She apparently made off with $1.86 million from his accounts from 2010 to 2015. By the way, when he said he didn't have any child support money, that was 2012.
What the fuck, man?
She was stealing millions from them, and his total losses exceed $2 million.
Okay.
So he was hiding his fucking money back then, probably using her to hide his money, and she was stealing it.
Right.
So you deserve it, asshole.
Yep.
Maybe. I could be totally wrong. Probably. This was not the only athlete she duped. Also, Ricky Williams of the Dolphins and Saints and everything. And Lex Hilliard. I don't know who that is. Is it a Saints player, I think?
Don't look at me.
I'm pretty sure here. And she obtained from 2001 to 2014, she misappropriated at least $3.5 million from athletes there. Mm-hmm. So there's that. And May 9th, 2019, this is from the LA Times. This story is hilarious. He's at Vibes Hot Yoga when a woman said that a man, Jesus Christ, identified as Rodman comes into the shop with a guy who used to work at the shop and another man and woman. It's 4 people just before the shop was about to close.
Yeah.
And they claim that he entered the business twice in 2 days and helped other people, including a former employee, steal more than $3,500 in merchandise, including a 400-pound amethyst crystal. This is all on video, by the way, the surveillance tape. It's hilarious.
It's still a 400-pound crystal?
Well, the owner of this place, who, by the way, is also an Uber driver, so the hot yoga business is fucking killing it. She says of the whole thing, she watched it unfold on security video. She said, quote, it's clear as daylight. She said that the employee apparently on duty said that they told the 4 that the quote ginormous geode amethyst crystal was on sale for $2,500, and that was basically if it belonged. what was it, belonged to one of them, and they came in and said, hey, that crystal's ours and we're picking it up. We're here to pick it up.
Okay.
And the employee was like,
okay.
I guess. Sure, it's Dennis Rodman. Yeah,
great.
oh, great. So then the employee said, Rodman asked me to show him the studio, and that took her away from the front desk, and he said he never visited the studio before, and he wanted to do that. As soon as they walked in the studio, the other people started shoving clothes and shit into their purses and shit. They went took items into the restroom to remove hangers. The men in the group tried to take the giant geode onto a hand truck and dropped it and shattered it all over the fucking floor. It's hilarious to watch. It's so funny. They gathered up and carted away the pieces. They took the fucking pieces, and they're like a bunch of shards, as well as $5,000 worth of damage to the floor, dropping a giant heavy rock on it. They were there for 20 minutes. Officers arrived just as they were leaving, the whole deal here. Rodman, Jesus Christ, this whole thing. Rodman said that, the employee said that Rodman smelled of alcohol and said he looked sloppy, basically. The merchandise were stolen, including a pair of $359 leggings, a $300 top. Maybe they deserve to be thieved for these prices.
Good Lord.
And other items.
Stealing from people anyway.
Right. Other items priced at $100 to $118. They're upscale horse shit here. She said that it was crazy how this all happened, the owner, and Jesus Christ, he said, I didn't steal anything from anybody. He said they gave us the clothes. He said that he was told, quote, Dennis, get anything you want. I said, okay, great. I want leggings. He said, then they asked him again about it, and he says, quote, we didn't steal shit. So there's that.
Okay.
He says it's a big misunderstanding. He said, I was just trying to help people out. That's what he said, quote, I tried to help as the good person I am.
What does that even mean?
He said he thought that this person needed help. It's fucking crazy. They need help stuffing shit into their shirts and stealing.
So I got to distract people so they can do it.
Oh, my God. Yeah. He says, he didn't do anything wrong. Someone said, will you be going to jail? And he said, no. So May 14th, 2019, he's at his 58th birthday party at the Buddha Sky Bar here. This is in Florida. And, Jesus, this is fucking amazing here. There's a guy he knows there. What's this guy's first name? Solok is his last name here. A guy. He's known. Apparently, he's a business developer. He's a developer. He's known by one of Rodman's managers.
Got it.
Here, and he's at the party, and he says that he was talking to someone who was standing behind Rodman when Rodman turned around and smacked him in the face. He said Rodman, quote, open hand smacked him there on the top of the thing. He called it an unprovoked attack. He said, quote, I was like, what's your problem? It was just out of nowhere. He just hit me and I was blindsided and he started charging me. So he said that Rodman immediately apologized and invited him to dinner the next day to make up for it, which is weird.
Did he go?
He said that he went home, and then when he woke up, his face was all swollen.
Yeah.
So he went to the Miami Police Department to report it, and he's not been arrested for it or anything like that. His attorney said, we deny that incident ever occurred at all. He says that he was sober and never alone during the party, so absolutely didn't happen at all. But the Buddha Sky Bar general manager said there's no video of any of this, no employees witnessed it or anything, but one witness did see it. David Lee Roth, not that David Lee Roth. Talk about mistaken identities.
Yeah.
This guy's name is David Lee Roth. He said, wow, he came into the party, did a big kick through the door. Wow, kicked, yeah. Fucking, wow. He's fucking.
Oh boy!
All right, and then,
fucking
get him out of here. So he says that he was about 20 feet away and saw clear as day, because Rodman's 6'8" and all.
Right.
He saw him smack the shit out of Soloke twice, not just once, twice. Two shots. He told the police he didn't know what the attack was for. He didn't understand it. Who knows?
Saw a guy get smacked. He probably deserved it.
If you deserve to be in a North Korean prison. May 2019, DJ Dennis Jr. commits to play basketball at Washington State.
Oh, my God. My heart skipped a beat.
He's 6'6",
DJ. He commits asterisks.
Yeah, commits asterisks. He's 6'6". He could be 7'5" by next year. We don't know. He could shoot right up. But he plays for Washington State. Good for him. Can't get enough of Dennis Rodman.
Oh boy!
Wait 5 fucking minutes. He'll do something else crazy or get arrested or do something wild.
Own a liquor store. He'll be a patron.
Yeah, you can buy 1 million books and you can buy jerseys.
It's all
more
out there.
merchandise and figures and everything else, and it doesn't matter. That's Dennis Rodman.
What the shit?
Everybody.
It's going to keep going.
Wow, that is such a
That's
story.
coming around again.
That could have been 5 hours long.
That'll be coming around the mountain.
Oh, he'll be coming around the mountain when she comes and comes again and over and over again.
All day long.
He's a goddamn disaster, and he'll be back. He'll definitely be back. I mean, it goes right up until now.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's him. That's Dennis Rodman. Hope you enjoyed Dennis Rodman. It's been a long time coming. It's episode 175.
Yeah.
So it's like we had to do a big guy on a milestone episode.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a good one.
So if you like that episode, you can tell us about it extremely easily. All you need to do is go over to Apple Podcasts, that purple icon, leave us a review, give us 5 stars. We don't know why you have to do that. We don't know why it helps drive you up the charts, but it does. It makes you go up the charts further. So if you could do that, and it doesn't matter what you say you're following instructions, following directions, that'd be amazing. We would appreciate it tremendously. Thank you. That really is the lifeblood of the show. Also, go to shutupandgivememurder.com for everything small town murder and crime and sports related. Anything, shirts, you name it. We have so much cool stuff up right now. There's ringtones, all sorts of stuff. Also, there's a voicemail. It's for small town murder, but you guys can leave stuff for crime and sports too. It's a voicemail. This is for like questions and kind of like suggestions, shit like that. It's 602-759-0606. And, we can Sahara Desert fart facts, weird small town festival,
whatever
shit like that. Whatever it is. That sounds terrible. Whatever you got. Leave them on there and do that. Where was I? Oh, yes, obviously. Social media.
Yes.
Follow us on social media. Very easy to do that. We are at Crime and Sports on Twitter and Facebook, at Small Town Murder on Instagram. And you can make a donation and be one of our amazing donor producers who we will talk about on Small Town Murder because Jimmie's bad at flight information.
Well,
no, he's not. That's okay. He had to get back. This is as soon as he could get back. So we apologize. We really, really apologize for the lack of that. But it was either no episode or no shout outs. So we decided no shout outs would be better probably. So everybody that does that though, you guys are fucking heroes. You can do that over at patreon.com/crimeinsports or head over to PayPal and use our email address, which is crimeinsports@gmail.com.
Right.
And normally Jimmie would be mispronouncing a lot of people's names and we'd be having a good time. And we'll get right back to that on Thursday. But there's that. Thank you guys for everything. It really means the world to us while we make these, long, labor-intensive shows with one ad in it like it is this week and no ads sometimes. So thank you guys for everything you do for that. What if everyone wanted to thank you, Jimmie, for getting back in time? How could they do it?
You can find me at Whisman Sucks, WHISMAN Sucks on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. And thank you guys. Where can they find you?
You can find me at Jimmie P is funny, or just copy and paste my last name from the show description and find me somewhere. I think Facebook, I'm all full now, so you can't hit me up there. But do that, and we're just so damn excited every week to keep coming back and hitting you. We will be taking a week off sometime, I believe, in October.
Right.
While we're on tour. We're going to spare ourselves some indignity one week.
We have 2 weeks in a row of 3 shows. It's going to be bananas.
It's so hard, so we're going to take a week off. But we'll let you know ahead of time. It's going to be like 6 weeks from now, 5 weeks from now. But we'll let you know ahead of time, and you'll get crazy episodes after that.
You'll know.
But you'll know. But anyway, live from the Crime and Sports Studios, we will see you next week.
Bye.
If you like crime and sports, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
He was hip-hop's biggest mogul, the man who redefined fame, fortune, and the music industry.
The first male rapper to be honored on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Sean Diddy Combs.
Diddy built an empire and lived a life most people only dream about.
Everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up.
But just as quickly as his empire rose, it came crashing down.
Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution.
I was up. I hit rock bottom, but I make no excuses. I'm disgusted. I'm so sorry.
Until you're wearing an orange jumpsuit, it's not real. Now it's real.
From his meteoric rise to his shocking fall from grace, from law and crime, this is the rise and fall of Diddy. Listen to the rise and fall of Diddy exclusively with Wondery Plus